Welcome to part 2 of our aura and chakra photo special. In this episode, we talk about the after photos that we received, and we break down the entire process. Join us as we kick the episode off talking about our chakras.
Dude, I'm real proud of my crown.
I am too. I was surprised at the size of it. Mine is still, which this is not going to make sense to anyone yet because we haven't explained it. Mine is a good size, but still a pretty dark purple or like a lavendery purple. And I think yours is too.
Yeah.
Let me see.
Yeah, it's not as icy clear.
Yeah.
As
Yours and mine are very, very similar. And it's that stress. She said, which it's so weird that she said that we both need to start looking into shadow work. Because lately I've been kind of on the pastime, looking it up real quick. Or I've been really stewing and on what is shadow work? And I've just kind of felt this need to look into it.
I've definitely seen it more and more. It's popped up more in the past month.
Yeah.
Than I've ever seen it.
It's one of those things where it's is this confirmation bias? Or it's do I need to look into this? And it was odd that she was
shadow
really
work.
some shadow work.
Yeah.
Would do you good
and I was
for
like,
your crown.
there's that word again, you know? Which is something that I've heard is hard, but I'm ready for it. I like some hard shit.
Well, yeah, I do too. I confronting myself has become something that I actually quite enjoy. I do it a lot, and it's helped me grow so much from the person that I used to be who could not do that. And so it's really I'm not saying it's easy, and people who do shadow work, it's no, I know it's going to be hard, and I know that it's a confrontational thing, but I find that refreshing. Yeah. You know, and I think it'll be good.
And I'm definitely going through this weird little period in my life. I mean, it's a good little period in my life where I am wanting change.
Yeah, me too.
Deep finding yourself kind of change, because I was just kind of reflecting on my 20s. I've got my 31st birthday coming up soon, and I was just you just think about where you are sometimes,
where you've been,
and things like that. And I was I got really kind of I don't want to say stagnant, but I got very comfortable from about 27 to 30. Yeah. You know, because it's just I fell into routine, and that was okay. That's what I needed right then. But now I'm you know what? I not only do I kind of need to do something, kind of shake some shit up, but I want to. It's not scary. If I would have thought about this a couple of years ago, I'd been maybe in a few years. Yeah. You know, but I'm ready for it. I'm ready to bring it on. And I think that this just kind of
it kind of gives you a roadmap.
You know what? It really lets you know what your inner goal is, or what you're all about. Yeah. Which is something that I was not expecting.
Okay, so let's start with that. Nothing about this entire process was what I was expecting.
Right.
I did not get a single part of how the process actually was going to happen correct. At all.
The thing that I think I was the most wrong about is I thought it was going to be, we'd go in, we'd snap a photo, we would look at it and diagnose it, I guess, and then we would lay down on a table.
That's exactly what I thought.
And they would break out crystals.
Like a Reiki session.
And, like a little Reiki and smoke, and they'd I don't know, whisper chants over us. And then we would take an after photo and be look what it did. Yeah. But it was a real time.
It was in real time. And I have to say, I was looking for tricks. Yeah. I really was. And, it was really cool because they were very open about it. And there's a tremendous amount of data involved here. And it's live updating data that comes through a biosensor that is on your body. Your hand is on it. So it's reading you in real time. And I, when Charlye, for instance, was getting hers done, I was watching the computer and Charlye, and I could see the effects of things in real time. I was watching the operator. She was not entering in any information, but she was exactly predicting what was going to happen. And, there were synchronicities that happened with you and me that were too strange. Yes. Just too strange. And we will get to that on our, individual things. But I got to say, it has made me kind of a believer, not just in this process, but in actual things like crystals, for example. You know, like, of course I use them in my practice or whatnot, but I always have that little nagging thing of, but they very likely probably do nothing. You know, like, it's that skepticism that nags you and nags you.
Yeah.
That's not the case.
Yeah.
And I mean, and I don't want to say, like, I mean, they, for, as we'll get to, sometimes they do nothing.
Yeah.
But they do have an energetic impact on our bodies. And I just really, I was sitting there watching it, and like so many of my preconceived notions were like slipping out of my body.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I understand, because as we said yesterday, we came at it looking for problems.
Yeah, I was like kind of watching for the man behind the curtain.
You know? Yeah. And I was also looking for pseudoscience.
Yeah.
You know, and I was like, okay, is it going to be one of those things where they're like, look, your aura is this color and that means something or another, but it's like one of those, you know that experiment where they give everyone the same horoscope?
Yeah.
You have like a room full of people, all different signs, and they give them an envelope and they like, here's your horoscope. And then they ask them at the end, who felt like this nailed your sign? And like almost everyone in the room raises their hand, and they're like, trick, it's all the same thing, you know, and because it's so vague, you know, and a lot of this stuff can be very vague. So everyone's like, oh, that makes sense for me. It's all very kind of compliments. You know, it's like, well, you're a highly intelligent person, I can tell. You know, so of course you're like, well, yeah, I am, you know. So I was also kind of trying to be super sensitive to that.
Yeah.
Something that blew me away to kind of reduce that, to kind of take that away, is the differences in our before picture. Oh. Between the two of us.
Incredible.
Is it's different. It's a different color scheme for both of us.
It makes absolute perfect sense.
But at our heart, we're the same.
We have the same aura color, and she said that was kind of interesting.
You know, and I thought that part of me is kind of thinking, if this is just like a fucking Instagram filter that they throw on, we would have probably had some differences in that area. And
Myra, and I believe she's the owner of Hearth Wisdom, right?
Yes,
yeah. And so Myra also did our reading, and she's not only was she operating this, she is an intuitive reader.
Yeah.
You know, so she's reading the aura and the chakras at the same time, along with the technology. Yes. So you're getting a bit of the metaphysical and the scientific at the same time. And
because she was saying things that were making me go, yes. How do you? And then she made a comment. She was like, you know, and of course she said something about like, and I'm not getting all of this from the photo. Yeah. You know, she was like, some of this is coming just from
what she was feeling and understanding.
You. I was like, you know, that makes sense.
Yeah, I get that. I like that.
Yeah.
But it was, it's very interesting. And she did say that people who often work together creatively or, you know, things like that will share a similar like auric base, like auric color.
Decide to go into a venture together.
Yeah. And it's very interesting that it turned out that way. How do you feel about this? I have an idea.
Yes.
So how about we'll start by talking about our beginning.
Yes.
And talk about how it related to what we predicted. And then how do you feel about telling each other's story? Because if you think about it, it makes a bit more sense. I saw firsthand the data for you, and you saw the data for me. Yeah. So you're going to kind of know a little bit more
and
about...
we can chime in with our personal, how we were feeling at the
time.
Okay,
and I think that'll be good because you'll remember things about mine that I won't because I wasn't seeing the information. My eyes were closed for half of it, you know? But I think that'll be really fun. And there's probably shit that we haven't even told each other about the reading that we saw because we honestly left there and like ate and took a nap.
Yeah, we crashed.
We absolutely, and it was not because we were like drained, but we took in so much information, and I was on such a energetic high.
Yeah.
And but I fell into like this state of contentment, and then just passed or like got tired.
That's the thing. We didn't leave. It wasn't like when we have big gatherings and things, and even just like get-togethers with like the family. You can, afterwards, you just feel drained because you gave it so much, you know, and it's that kind of exhausted feeling. Almost like that empathic, I need to step away for a second, you know. So it wasn't that, which is interesting because as somebody who, social situations do make me very anxious. A lot of the times after I leave a store that has just a handful of people like it did yesterday, I will kind of come home and have that feeling. But that's not what it was. It was this almost like blissful, really happy.
Yeah.
Like I'm fucking content, and I'm going to take like a lazy Sunday nap, Refresher. We went to get our chakras and our auras photographed.
Yes.
And then
adjusted.
And then an after photo to compare. And we didn't want to go half-ass. We didn't want to just do the photo and be like, here's what happened. We wanted to see if there was a difference. So let's start. Let's start about what did we think was going to go down?
Okay. So I thought we were going to walk in and the first part was decently similar. But I didn't think that there was going to be an actual energetic sensor that we would be interacting with, like an actual pad that was feeling our, because it's feeling your stress levels.
Yeah.
It's feeling a whole bunch of different bio, measurements that come from our bodies.
Again, I mean, it was similar to like a polygraph.
Yeah.
We weren't as hooked up as that, but it was close.
And it was, updating information in real time. And I didn't expect that. I'm glad that it was that way. It added to me a very good extra bit of measurement that made it much more legitimate.
Yeah.
But then, like we said, I thought after that, one by one, and that's why I brought a book.
Yeah.
Because I thought that, they would take our photos and then you would be taken to like a room for
separate area,
an hour, and I would just kind of piddle around the shop or whatever and read until your turn or my turn. Not the case. It did take about an hour.
Yeah.
But it was a lot of information and explanation and trial and error.
And it was also very cool how we were able to sit in on each other's sessions.
Yeah, they gave us a real treat. And Myra, she would stop and she would explain things, and it was really interesting. Yeah. And at the time, she was training another employee to do this who is very intuitive as well.
Yeah. Well, she herself said that she did chakra adjustments and stuff. She was training her, I think, on the
equipment. Yeah. On how to do it. And she was excellent. I loved having the two of them there. I thought they worked great together.
Yeah, they really flowed. And there was a couple of times where, because we'll get into Macy's. Macy's was
an ordeal.
Of course. Of course it was. But there was a couple of times she would turn around and I heard her. She would whisper what she wanted to her so you wouldn't hear it, so it would not affect your readings, right?
Yeah.
Because if she said, bring jasmine, well, you like jasmine, so you might get a little happy and that might affect your output, right?
Yeah.
So there was a couple of times she would turn and she'd be like, bring me some jasmine. But there were also times that she said, bring me something for the heart or bring me something to cut cords or something. And she would dash off and she would come back with like an armful of stuff. Yeah. And it was just right. It was just right.
Well, and she also, occasionally she'd disappear and come back and she'd like hold her hand out to Myra and Myra would look at it and she'd be like, oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Like, and it was like, they were both just thinking in tandem. She was like, oh, I see. Okay. Yeah.
I see where your head's at.
And it was really, really cool. I loved it. Okay. So do you want to go first?
Sure.
Here's what, you can go through your chakras and compare them to what we predicted.
Yeah.
And then we can go through your reading.
Let's go in the order that we went so we can kind of breeze through it in an actual timeline. So we show up and they take us back to a little sectioned off private area, which I enjoyed.
Yeah, I did too.
We weren't on display and we weren't being used as not being used, but sometimes I feel like with massage therapy, I know that sometimes if you would set up in an area where people could see you, it would make other people go, I want that.
Yeah, you're almost being used as a sales pitch.
Yeah, which is fine. But the fact that we were closed off, I think made it a lot more intimate and a lot more we could relax. Because when we very first show up, you put your hand on the sensor and looking at the computer, you can see they have just all this confusing. They have charts that you don't understand.
Yeah,
and they've got lines that look like a stock graph.
Yeah.
And your shit's just kind of going crazy.
Yeah.
And she said, I like to give people a minute. And she talked very, when you go and see a really good doctor and they'll talk to you and you don't even realize until it's over that they were calming you down.
Yeah, she has a very and I don't know how to say this without not sounding like what I'm trying to convey, but she had like this lovely authoritative energy. Yeah. But it was like in a calming way. It was like in her presence, you're like, okay.
You felt like you were in good hands.
I did, you know, and she was owning this situation. Like you could tell that she was so capable and so confident with what was going on. And I just kind of surrendered to it. And it was nice.
Yeah. There was nothing novice about it. No. You know, at no point did she kind of stumble and go, She was doing what she knew how to do. Yeah. And that was very cool to watch. It's cool to watch someone kind of in their element, you know? So you go in, you put your hand on this thing, and you talk with them, and you kind of cool down, and because there's something nerve-wracking about it. Not even if it's a good anxiety, there's still anxiety there. Yeah, yeah. And we're very excited, which of course is going to get our heart going, which is going to affect the reading. So we talk and we calm down, and the whole time your hand's on this sensor, you know? So there is this little undercurrent of something's happening.
Something's happening to me. Yeah, and they all see it.
Yeah, and that was very strange because she had the laptop up that was reading all of the input, and the camera that could see, you know, everything. And Macy and then everybody was behind the computer. And they could see all of this data, and it was hilarious because they would she was pointing to things that I couldn't see. Yeah. She was like, well, this is your stress and this is your such and such. And so they're getting all of this information, and there's something very a little scary about that. See, you know, and you're like, what are they saying? Is it normal? Am I okay?
Oh yeah, I got that point. I hit that level severely.
Yeah. When you see other, and especially, well, you know, I feel like we were all three faces doing the same thing.
There was a few minutes of just explaining how it works, and it's like almost this hypnotic, like you just start listening to how and you just steadily are like, I think you calm down and you get into, so when your levels hold steady for a while and everything's not fluctuating anymore is when she snaps the first photo.
She's like, okay, this is, you know, you get a feel for this must be your baseline, right? So she snapped the first photo. And what that meant is we spoke a little bit about this on the live stream yesterday because we were very excitedly rushing through in probably a very confusing manner.
I think we spewed what happened in a very condensed and furious way on our Patreon supporters.
But they seemed to enjoy it.
They seemed to enjoy it, but I'm glad that we had them to like get it all out with. Yes. And now we can put it together.
Now we can put the pieces together. So there's a couple of different ways that this technology works. So apparently aura photography has been around for, God, what'd she say, 70s?
The 70s, I think, like when she said it popped up on the scene.
And it's been evolving ever since.
Yeah, it's been. So,
God damn it. Look, I'm just,
I know.
It's too good of a day. I'm just going to breeze right through it. I'm going to roll it. I'll get you this episode, I swear it. Every time I say that, I feel less
confident in that fact. Yeah.
So, anyway, the technology's been evolving, and when people think aura photography, they think of like a photo, almost like a Polaroid. You can, you know, someone's face. However, we didn't do that. It's almost like a body chart that they gave us. And at this point, we do have our photos over on our socials, so you can go check them out. Yeah, our before and after photos will be up. But you don't see our actual bodies. You just see a representation, you know, and it uses the data to gather this information, and it spits out a picture of your aura.
Yeah.
As silly as I feel saying
that,
but it's
your aura, but in a data-driven way. So there's certain things, and like, so the left side means a certain thing, the right side means a certain thing. Your feet, you know, colors located on the picture in different shades mean different things about your aura. So while it's both kind of literal, your aura, like literally, but it also uses that data and uses color to convey things about your aura. Which were dead on accurate.
On the nuggets.
For both of us. I mean, to the point of just being like, oh my God, what?
Yeah, there was some shit in there that was that like hit home for me in a weird way.
Yeah, and you know, and especially with yours, and she was talking about how in the left side is how the world perceives you, and the right side is how you want to be perceived. And yours, you know, the left side perceives you as a healer, as you know, like a calm or like a compassionate presence and things like that. And on the right, it was wanting to teach, and that's what you wanted, you know, to manifest and to communicate with. And I was like, well, that's just fucking that's great.
I mean, Yeah, absolutely. And, everything about it was like, yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, that makes sense. But not in one of those really vague ways. It was very
targeted.
Because not everybody projects as a healer.
I don't.
Not everybody wants to be a teacher.
Yeah.
Or to be seen, I guess, as somebody who knows what they are talking about.
And that's the thing. It's like, I will put healing rituals together.
Yeah.
But while I'm empathic, I'm not a healer.
Yeah.
And
while I'm a healer, I'm not empathic.
That's the thing. It's like, I can feel people's emotions and then try to make them, get out of that situation in some way. But I'm not a healer. And so I didn't have that in my aura, which was great.
So yeah, you sit there, you hit your baseline, they print out a photo of your aura, and not more importantly, but more recently, this is a new development. They use this biometric input to give you a idea of what your chakras look like, which is something that I've been very open about from the beginning. It's not that I don't believe in chakras. I
don't quite understand how they work.
I don't understand how they work. It's like, do they have to be in this location? Is this a general idea? Is this rule? It's something that I was very kind of washy on, and I guess maybe a little skeptical about.
Yeah.
Because I was like, well, these are good ideas. It's kind of how I felt about deities. Like, it's a good general idea.
I get you. Yeah.
But does it have to be in this line down my body?
And
I'm just like, does it have to be this way? But after seeing this, I'm a little bit more like concreted into it.
Yeah.
So here's what my photo looked like. I'm gonna break it down. Go look at it on our socials, and here's the meaning. So first of all, the aura was very kind of closed in and close to my body. And it kind of cut off at my neck. Like, my head's barely in there.
It was in there, but barely, just the top. I mean, right at the top of the head, it's going away.
We're both little tiny bean-shaped auras. Very close in. Appropriate.
Little beans.
Our auras are some beans. What if it spit out a picture and it was just baked beans?
Just a dry, purple hole. Just a bean. Why is that gross?
I don't know. Or screen printing, an all over screen print, how it can be a little fuzzy. It's just one of those, but just of a pot of beans.
Printed out in a bean.
And she's like, this is very interesting. This has never happened.
She prints out the picture and it's covered in bushes, sugar slime, the sauce.
Sugar slime. Good old Bush's sugar slime.
Oh.
All right, here's this.
Sauce is the word I needed, not sugar slime.
There's no such word as sauce anymore. Everything from this point on is sugar slime. So this information is coming from the Hearth Wisdom Store website, which is hearthwisdomstore.com. On their website, they break it down, what the colors mean, what the positioning of it means, some more information about chakras in general. So go check that out. We'll have a link in the show notes. So up by the head, I've got kind of a dirty brown color. Kind of muddled. It's not very, we'll say it's orange. Okay. So that says, so the head area represents your thoughts, inspirations, and goals. So for me, it was somewhere between orange and red. So orange is productive, physical, creative expression, adventure, business, enjoyment.
Yeah.
Which makes sense because that's very much where my head is at right now.
Yeah.
And I think that anytime I hear the word creative, my brain immediately goes to the podcast.
It can't not.
Adventure, I think that this is a business venture, but it's an adventure as well.
Absolutely.
So everything about that read like podcast to me. And it felt very business minded, which is how I've been feeling, So over on the right side of the person, left side of the photo.
Yeah.
So, okay, on the left side of the photograph, I have a tealy blue color. And the right side, I enjoy it. It's a very kind of aquamarine almost, so the right side is what you project externally. This is how people see you, and my color was blue to a little green. And this says it's caring, sensitive, loving, loyal, peaceful. Loyal, dude, I mean, to a fucking fault.
Yeah.
If I even like you a little bit and someone says something about you, I'll rip their face off. But I'm also a Leo, so let's see. Desire to be of service, nurturing, kind of, you know, I've always been the mom of the group.
Yeah.
Like in high school, I felt like I was the mom. So I think that's kind of how that boils down. On the left side of the person, that means your future flow of energy, where you're going, how you wish to be perceived, that kind of thing, which is more of a green, which is social, content, harmony, teacher, communicative, quick-minded, and it's nice to see that that's my future flow of energy. Yeah. Because it's also how I do wish to be perceived. Yeah. You know, I do have this fear that we've both spoke about doing this podcast of being like, are we too amateur? Yeah. You know, I mean, I know that's our shtick. But like, when I say things, like, I do want to be like, you know what, I want to pass on this information. Right. I want to be a reliable source. Right. And I want people to say, you know, she might know what she's talking about. And I love that communicative is in there because like, that's a big goal.
When you've been working on it.
Exactly. Know? I have been trying to suss out the way that I speak because I am a very, I'm a writer by trade or, you know, whatever. I think too quick for my mouth. And it gets caught up. There's a log jam there, and I'll Sean Connery all over the place, and I have to slow down a little bit, and it was nice to see that this is something that it's taking these things you've been working on, or even feeling sensitive about, and it was like, you're doing good, you're on the right track. So next up is the heart area. And what was interesting about this is she said, what did she say about the heart? This is like your true aura.
Yeah, she said it's your core, like, art base.
When you think of an aura, another thing that was interesting is she said that children tend to be...
one color.
Monochromatic, I guess.
Yeah, they have like one thing, you know, because what were they called? Homogenous?
Homogenous,
yeah. If you have like a mix and whatnot. And children, you know, and that makes sense. They're typically... goal-driven, one-sided, you know, or not like one-sided, but
she said it very driven by their id.
Yeah, you know, and so it does make sense that, you know, you'll have like a kid that's just going to be like all red, all, you know,
very up there in the, you know, or they're just super purple and like maybe a little blue, you know. Yeah. But she says adults, as we become complex beings with past traumas and like future goals and like
and
as we
responsibilities, even, you know,
and suss ourselves out. We kind of, when I know that I definitely, when I thought of an aura, I was like, it's one color. And I was like, I wonder if my aura is blue or is it green?
You know, I did too.
I didn't know that there could be this difference.
You can have some patches going on.
And shit, do we? I mean, we got a smattering. So here, I guess what you would, if you had to pick maybe your base color, this is what it would be in the heart area. This is how your feelings are expressed. So mine is orange, which says productive, creative expression, adventurer, business, enjoyment. Again, it was the same kind of that where my head was. Yeah. Which is, you know, nice to know. You always want your head and your heart, I guess, in the same place. Yeah. So that was cool. Now, the bottom part of the picture, your feet area, this was very interesting to me. So what the chart says is this is your grounded energy, your security, you're rooted in. Like, this is your, I guess, your root chakra of the photo. Right. Like, this is what you are all about. And mine is 2 different colors. And she also said this is like, it represents like what your feet are in. This is like what the path that you're on and what you're walking towards, kind of. So I start off with kind of that yellow that kind of spans my whole picture of creativity and business driven. What I'm rooted in, quick-minded, goal-oriented, social, material, which is interesting, communicative, and organizer.
You are an organizer.
Absolutely. And that material thing kind of smacked me a little bit. Yeah. And we didn't really focus too much on it because I don't think it has to be a negative thing. No. But it is something that I am constantly trying to remind myself because I can very easily get swept up in shiny things. Yeah. You know, and I don't think that makes me shallow or anything. No, and it's not coming from an evil place.
I think it makes you human.
I think, I think it's just a nice thing. And I am very conscious of it. Anytime that we talk about like, oh, we've got something, you know, like we talk about something we bought, in the back of my mind, I'm like, am I being too material? So it's constantly on my mind. So it makes sense that it would show up here. So, and then just the picture as a whole is very all over the place.
Yeah.
But there is kind of a consistency to it that I have a lot of cool tones.
Yeah.
A lot of this photo is green, blue, teal, a lot of cool colors. And she said that cool colors represent somebody who is, I guess maybe driven by their higher chakras.
Yeah.
Whereas somebody with a lot of warm colors, such as this one over here, who's very red and orange and yellow. And we both kind of overlap with that yellow, which is
the
cool.
Yellow is our kind of our base.
Somebody
orange.
Who's got a lot of those colors are more operated maybe by like their root and their lower chakras, which makes sense.
Yeah, it does.
That's who we are as people. If you are earth and I'm spirit and like just I don't know, just everything that we are. I feel like you could look at us or listen to this podcast for 2 seconds and be like, yeah, that makes sense.
We could post these pictures without saying whose was which, and everybody immediately is going to know whose is which.
Absolutely, without a doubt. It just feels like us. I think.
I mean, you can't look at this, especially that.
Yeah. She's let me do since you guys can't see. She just pointed right at her root chakra, which when you see this photo, her root chakra, it is
it is honestly comical.
It's big.
It's
let me put it this way. It's exactly how you would expect Macy's root chakra to be.
It really is.
Yeah. So that brings us to the chakras. So that first part was aura, and that was very interesting. I think I might even be more motivated, more driven by the aura photo aspect.
Yeah. And I thought it was very, very compelling.
It was extremely compelling. So chakras, here we go. So I'm going to start at my root chakra. My root chakra before, it was very, it was round, right?
Which is good.
Which is good. You want them to be, because they can be very jagged and they can kind of steer off to one direction. They can be blotchy. Again, refer to these photos that we link to, or refer to this website that we link to get more information about this. So my root chakra was very opaque in the middle. You kind of want them to be more opaque throughout, however, right?
Well, sort of.
That means focus.
Well, if they're too dark, though, that means there's stress in that chakra.
Yes.
So there's like a balance that needs to be found.
They're almost hard to describe, but so basically what happened with mine is it has a good center. She said there was energy there and there was flow there.
Yeah.
It's just not a lot.
Yeah.
I think it's a classic case of it works, it'll do you, but it's not like thriving, which is what I expected for my root. To be quite honest, I forget what I said yesterday in yesterday's episode.
Yeah.
But I think it was about like, it was like a 5 out of 10. And then in my after photo, my chakra, it's no longer looks like a drop of water fell on a piece of paint. You know what I mean? It kind of shears out. Like it really solidified up. It's not transparent anymore. It just looks more focused.
Yeah.
It just looks more like my root chakra in my after is like the picture of how you want it to look.
Yeah.
Which none of them really, my heart also as well, like are pretty fucking perfect if I must brag.
Yeah.
So the next one up, what do we got? Solar plexus. No. What's the next
Sacral.
one? Sacral. I get this confused all the time. My sacral, again, unfocused.
Yeah.
She said it had energy. It's very large, but there's no structure to it.
Yeah. We had one. She said something very interesting, and it resonated. Yours and my original sacral are very, very similar.
Yeah.
And she said they both showed signs of like creative fulfillment, but also creative fatigue.
Yeah.
You know, that anytime your creative energy turns into a business, it can lead to that fatigue of, creativity. It's not just for the spirit anymore. There's responsibility involved, and and that passion comes through the sacral chakra, and both of our sacral chakras are almost identical. And it's just like, obviously creativity is flowing, but it's also having to learn the balance of now there's responsibility tied to it. And that exhaustion will come, but it will go. And it was just, that was very compelling.
And it's normal, and it can be joyful again. Which was nice to hear.
Yeah.
Because that's something that worries me, because sometimes, look, here's our deal. We're always going to be like super real with you guys.
Yeah.
Right? Sometimes it gets stressful.
It gets stressful, and it gets absolutely exhausting.
Yeah.
Exhausting.
You know, and it's not that we don't enjoy, like, that's why our hearts were yellow, is because
we're doing this for a reason.
We love this, you know, but think about anything that you love doing. If you do it all the time and suddenly you don't just do it because you love it, but you're doing it as a fulfillment, you're fulfilling it.
Yeah.
It can kind of be like, God, I hope I still deep down, I still love this.
Yeah.
And it was just nice to see that, like, yeah, that's totally fucking normal, and this can be fixed, and it's like, it's just a phase you go through, which is honestly not how I've been feeling, like, super recently, but it comes and goes.
It comes and goes. That's exactly right. You know, I'll get in a mood sometimes where it's like, because before you're doing something with responsibility, if you don't want to do it, you don't have to do it.
Yeah.
But sometimes, you know, you get to the point where you're like, oh no, I can't not do this. And you have that moment of grief of just like, oh,
yeah,
I gotta be responsible, goddammit. Yeah. Like, I gotta do this shit.
And then you have that feeling of like, I don't want to feel like this is
yeah, am I being ungrateful?
Yeah.
I'll go to think that and be like, man, like, because that's the thing, like, can't stress enough. We still can't believe how lucky we are that this has actually panned out this way. But we're human, you know, and sometimes on a Sunday afternoon, all you want to do is stay in your pajamas and not even use your brainstem at all. But it's like, no, we have to record and we have to do this and we have to do this and get this done and organize this because we live 2 hours apart. Yeah. You know, and we have to like figure shit out, and you just lay in bed like a child, like, but I don't want to.
I just want to sleep.
Yeah.
Which is, it came through in this. Mm-hmm. But you know what is very cool about it is it's still bright.
Yeah, it's healthy.
So on the chart here, it says a bright chakra is balanced, high energy, positive quality, but they're very large, which means it's overactive, high energy.
Yeah.
So to me, that means it's working. You might be a little stressed about it.
They look healthy. You know, the size is about the same as in the after photo. Maybe the after one's a little smaller and more reeled in, but it's the coloring that's different. It's missing a little bit of that
zest.
that richness.
Because in
it's
my
like
after,
organization.
It really packed it back together.
Yeah.
It in my after photo, it's more reined in. Yeah. It's more orange and not yellow.
Yeah, it is. It's not that faded look.
It's I keep saying it, and it's going to be repetitive because I'm going to keep saying it, but it's more focused. Mm-hmm. You know, I'm thinking like a magnifying glass. You know how if you catch the sun in it and it can have a very big circle of light that it throws, but you kind of tilt it and it
and
zeroes
it's concentrated
in. And that's what I feel like it's done this. It's concentrated our beans. Next up is the solar plexus. Mine was small, but round. So here we go. Small means underactive, low energy. But round means balance and harmonious.
Yeah.
So
she said it was healthy. It wasn't having like a whole ton of energy flowing through it.
And compared to the second photo, my after photo, it's so much more bright.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
In the second one. And that can be said, I think, for all of these. The second ones, they look like you turn the saturation up.
Yeah.
You know, pretty much. Except on my heart, which looks like it almost needed to come down. It was a little stressed, you know, because if it starts to not be vibrant but dark, that's an indication that it is overwhelmed and stressed out. So, moving up to my heart, it was pretty okay. Yeah, honestly.
Which I can't exactly recall. Isn't that what you thought? Like your heart chakra was gonna be like?
Yeah. Okay. I thought my heart chakra was going to be all right.
Yeah, pretty good. Like 5 or 6 out of 10 or something.
Yeah. I wish I would have written those numbers down.
I know. Me too. Shit.
God damn it. We're amateurs.
Well, people can listen to us, and if we're right, we sound great. And if we're not, we sound stupid. So.
And you know what? That could also be a good indicator for people who want to check skepticism. Yeah. You know? So we're doing this for you. Yeah. How's that? No, so it looks very similar in the before and the after photo. The after one, it just looks a little more ship-shape. Nothing huge to report on that one. Yeah. Pretty much how we thought. Moving up to the throat was interesting.
You had a very healthy throat.
Well, she also said some shit to me that was different. That was interesting. So I do remember yesterday talking about how my throat...
It was healthy but tight.
It was healthy but tight. And she said that could mean... She said, well, you have no problems voicing your opinion. And my first thought when she said that was like, no, I have every problem. I was like, I don't do that. But then I think about it and I'm like, no, I'm pretty fucking vocal. And this has been a trend that's followed me my whole life, is I always feel like I'm not expressing myself correctly. Yeah. But then I talk to others and they're like, no, you do it just fine. You know, so I think that's more of a self-conscious kind of thing. Yeah. Is like, am I not saying what I need to say? She said that there's a conversation. Yeah. That you might need to have.
Yeah. That you want to have.
That you want to have.
Like sitting there.
And it's basically, she said, you have some stuff to say. Yeah. But you just haven't been. And so, and that's one of mine that was dark in color. So it is stressed. And even afterward, it lightened up and loosened up a little bit. But even afterward, it's still a little dark, which makes sense because crystals and energy and sound healing, it's not going to have that conversation for me. No. You know, which is just interesting. Okay, so the next one up is third eye. My third eye was as bang as I wanted it to be. It was doing
pretty solid.
It was fucking great. And I remember being a little fucking cocky about that yesterday, but I'm fine with it. If I have one chakra that I'm confident in, it's my third eye. And then the curveball here was the crown.
But it made sense.
Yeah. Well, see, yesterday I was real confident going into that crown. I remember saying some shit like, I can open my crown whenever I want to, or something. Which is not how it works, and I understand that. But I really was expecting it to be real healthy and real great. Yeah. But she said that that's not typical. It's typical for us, I guess, today as people to have a stressed and small crown. Yeah. And that's exactly what it looks like. On this photo, you can almost barely see it. It's a pinprick.
And it's like a mauve.
Yeah, it's a pinky kind of color, which what you want is white or like clear, I guess. Yeah. So she said when it's pink, that's its version of being dark, meaning stressed. And is super small, which she said was normal.
As she said, especially too, so if you've had to...
and we're both like that.
Well, it makes sense. Yeah. So, and this is in kind of our more open, we're fortunate to where, but it took a long time to be able to be that way. Yeah. So if you grow up in an area to where spiritually you cannot be who you are for fear of acceptance or even just danger... Yeah. That's going to leave a mark, and that's where that shadow work comes in. And being able to accept that had to happen and accept, challenges that you've been through. It's not really going to get better until you do that. Yeah. Until you let that go, that frustration or resentment or even those subtle like past things of, for instance, like if you still believe some of what people said about you, if you tried to practice the way you wanted to. Yeah. So you clear that away, your spirit, your highest chakra can't fully be clear. Yeah. And that made a lot of sense to me.
Well, it also makes sense when you have to kind of pack this away. And growing up in, again, we said something in our session about like, maybe just growing up in the South.
Growing up in the South, yeah, as a spiritual being, can not only be difficult, it can be scary. Yeah. It can be very scary. You can be afraid.
So you can be out and proud in your own house, but there is a part of you that compartmalises it. Yeah. And you kind of pack that away. Yeah. And you do so for a very long time. I mean, even before I had a name for all of this, I always like felt kind of hippy dippy in high school. Yeah. And even that, I remember like even my friends would be like, where does this come from? Yeah. And like, so even around your friends, you're like,
you can't be yourself.
Maybe not, you know? And she says it does happen sometimes that someone comes in and they've got like this big and bright, healthy, crown. She's like, but that's somebody who is like, enlightened.
Well, yeah, and she also said that can sometimes happen, but like typically if that's their natural thing, all of their lower ones are fucked.
Or just yeah. That's somebody who like lives in the clouds,
in the spirit world, and all of their grounding chakras are non-existent.
You've got no actual real world like abilities.
You're in between planes. Like you don't have a root chakra.
You don't have a root.
It's not there.
But I'm quite impressed with the after photo. It's still that pinky mauvey kind of purpley almost color. Yeah.
Ours are the exact same color.
Are they really?
and the after photo.
Yeah.
They were different in the beginning photo.
It's a light lavender.
Yeah.
But it's large.
Yeah, it's the same
really
size.
open.
It's still smaller than both of our third eyes.
Yeah.
Which we both had good, pretty healthy third eyes.
Well, I mean, it makes sense. Look what we do.
Yeah.
I mean.
It's bigger though than I expected. It really,
yeah. It really opened up, which makes sense because to me, making it larger will come before making it
healthier,
clean.
Yeah.
Yeah. It would be weird if it was tiny but like bright white.
Right.
Because that would mean to me that it has been through it's been exercised.
Yeah.
A little bit.
Which they have not.
They have not been. So now that it's kind of opened a little bit and there's been some work done, and now that I have my tools, I have my tools. I'm excited to get in there and kind of clean house with the crown chakra. I'm excited to go spend some time in the spirit realm and see what happens now that it's more open than it's been in probably years and years.
Yeah.
So I'm really excited about it. So that's my photo. Please go check it out. Both of them will be up, our before and afters, me and Macy's. And then if you have any experience in reading these photos or with this at all, drop us some info,
Or I would like to know if anybody can see auras, what you've seen our aura as before. Yeah. I'd be curious to know.
Or even if you just feel them.
Yeah. Like, does it match the energy that you have gotten from us?
Yeah. Oh, that's interesting. Yeah. But okay, before we go into the one last thing I do want to say, I was thinking about it, is when we got our after photos done, I was looking at me and Macy's and I noticed that in our photos we had some darkness, like some dull areas.
The corners over like our shoulders are kind of caved in, and they were not as really in
a little bit kind of like on this side.
Yeah, and a little bit on my other side, but not to the degree of the second one.
What's interesting in both of ours, near our feet, we have more shadow in the before picture as well. So I was like, what are these shadows? And she said, well, the shadows up by your shoulders are guides.
Yeah, ancestors or guardians.
Spirit that has come to sit with you. She's like, and she made it sound as if not everybody has that come through. But I think for both of us do. Both of our shoulders, we have some visitors there, which would make sense because we're related.
Yeah.
So if ancestor did step through, it's very likely that it was a
shared.
Both of our ancestors. She's like, I'm already here, I'll sit in, here.
Got nothing else going on.
Two birds, But she said the shadows near the feet were negativity that has stuck to you in some way.
Yeah.
Which is interesting that in my before photo, and in yours too, we have shadows near our feet.
Yeah.
And then in the after, there's still one.
There's still a little notch taken out.
Yeah.
But I like, we were saying, I think a lot of that will come with shadow work.
Absolutely.
Everybody does, and for certain reasons.
You can't just hold a crystal and your negativity is
or resentment, or just like frustrate things like that. That takes time to work through and understand.
One of the things that she said when we were talking about solar plexus, she asked if there were hooks.
Yeah,
and I was up first, and we'll get to this part of the session. We'll get there, but I didn't understand what hooks meant. So I remember I was just kind of like, no, kind of when you say no, but you're not really sure what the question was. And she was like, well, it can be, past guilt or things you're holding on to, anger, this, and it could be from other people or it can be from within. And my first thought was like, do I feel weird about somebody else? Like, does somebody else have their hooks in me?
Yeah.
And I was like, no, that doesn't make sense. But then when she said it can come from within, it can be your own guilt, and like that
guilt
word
was a big one.
Really stuck out to me. And as soon as she said that, I was like, oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Which was insanity. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to tell you about our sessions and in the process, but from the perspective of each other.
Yeah, because see, the thing is when you're getting it done to you, you're sitting in a chair and you can't see the screen. Yeah. You're looking at, like, I was like, Charlie was looking at me and Myra, but however, you can't see it. You're just sitting there. Mm-hmm. However, I was watching the real-time data updates of when things were placed in Charlie's hands.
Yeah.
Which, can you, what was your final,
my final
mixture?
Mix.
Yeah.
So my final mix, there's a big shocker here at the end. Wait for the reveal, you guys. So my final thing was, and you know what? It was more crystal based than I thought it was going to be. Because when we very first showed up, she said, what do you work with the most? And I said, herbs, oils. Yeah. Confidently. Yeah. Because we both share that skepticism towards crystals. And I want to say a little bit of that is an outside bias for me because of other people, because of the weird, like, attitude that people can get about crystals. They're like, oh, she's probably the kind of person who likes crystals. Yeah. You know, and so a lot of my thoughts about crystals comes from that place. Yeah. But then again, it's always made sense because I have always had like a crystal in jewelry form. And even when I was a kid, I was like, this crystal means such and such. Amethyst gives you good dreams or whatever, right? And it's been such a permanent thing that I've resisted for a very long time. And one of the biggest things I got out of this entire goddamn thing was like, maybe I just work with crystals really well. And maybe that's just how it is. Yeah. So, because I have my 4 items, 3 of them are a stone.
And I watched in real... Okay, how's this? Let's not give it away. Can I just see your bag? Yeah. Okay, and I'll talk about... Because I remember when these happened.
I'm going to leave the bits down in there because that's... You know what it is, and it's going to be a mess.
This is going to destroy my chakras holding this.
So, for a little bit of background... So you have one hand on the sensor and it's giving you all of your outputs. We've taken the photo of the chakras. Yeah. We're now looking at real-time data again. Yeah. So with one hand, you place on the sensor. The other hand, you have out open to receive whatever it is she's going to hand you. And it can be sound, like they worked with bells and singing bowls. It can be scents, smelling an oil, or even just holding an herb. It can be a crystal. Sometimes they do break out the smoke and use the smoke around you and things like that. But it's whatever you respond to. And we seemed to be very tactile. There was not a lot of the sound and things like that.
You know, which was
didn't do as much as
interesting.
We thought.
It had an effect on me, just not a major one. Because I work with sound a lot. Yeah. And like sound, like when she was doing the singing bowl, I was feeling myself slip into a meditative state. Yeah. However, it's interesting to know that that's not the same thing. Yeah. As balancing your chakras. Exactly. You know, like it helps me slip into a different consciousness. However, it's not necessarily correcting me.
Exactly. Because what I was noticing, and we didn't even do sound when I was in the chair because we kind of found what worked.
Your session and my session were very different.
And God, we've talked about how we would love, and this might be a little bit of a bat signal out, you know, if you guys over at Hearth Wisdom are listening. No, we were talking about how cool would it be to sit and just hold different things. And
I just want to develop what it is that is good or not so spiritually good for me.
There is something that we found out is bad for Macy, which is crazy. Oh, we'll get there. We're getting ahead of ourselves. I'm so sorry.
All right. So Charlye was sitting in the chair. And she had her hand on the sensor and her other hand outwards, you know,
ready to receive.
And so,
which I was stressed out about because left hand and not in everybody's practice and not the way everybody works, but my mom told me this one time and it's always stuck with me. And to me, it's so cemented as fact that like your left hand is the receiver of energy and your right hand is the giver of energy.
Yeah. And it's because...
So the fact I was holding things in my left hand, I was like, is it gonna work?
And boy, did it.
Oh boy.
Because this thing reacts instantaneously. And here's what's so interesting is because the machine can't... It's not like Myra typed in smoky quartz and then hit enter. Yeah. You know, all that she's doing is watching the data and putting things in Charlie's hand. Yeah. And here's what was so cool. So like the first thing that she did was a little smoky quartz buoy, right?
No, garnet.
That's right. That's right. Yeah. And so, so she, so crazy. Charlye had her hand out. Nothing was in her hand yet.
What was she working on me? I forget the ones she focused on because she said in an hour's time to focus on every single one of your chakras is like crazy.
It's not, This one though, she wanted to focus your root. And
that's right, because I was those cool
the
colors.
Upper one, it was kind of to balance you out a little bit. And so she picked up this little garnet and she looked back at me and she tapped the screen, which Charlye can't see, and she tapped the red column, which it's this ever updating level of red for the energy level flowing through the root chakra. And
she called her shot.
And that's what
like
she said.
A baseball player.
It was like pool, like in like calling the pocket.
Yeah.
And so she looked back at me and she tapped the red column and she dropped the garnet in Charlie's hand. And the moment it made contact with her skin, that red column shot through the roof.
Yeah.
And Charlye could not see any of that.
No. Here's the thing. My skepticism comes out here. Or it would come out here and say, well, I saw her put a red stone in my hand.
But it's not red.
It's not red.
It's garnet. So this thing is like, it looks like
I would have
deep
guessed
pralines. It looks like someone burnt caramel.
I would have thought that was like a obsidian or smoky quartz or something.
I thought it was a very dark smoky quartz.
Yeah.
So it's not like you could be like, oh, no. But man,
there was nothing subliminal happening really with it. Yet,
right. Right.
Okay.
And so next, and just like
shocker, get ready, you guys.
As appropriately as this could be, so Myra's looking at everything and she looked at how that affected Charlye and she's looking at Charlie's information and what kind of fuels her. And she looked back and she was like, let's get some cinnamon.
And I did not hear her say that.
She didn't hear that. And I was like, I just kind of like chuckled to myself. And I was like, oh my God. And so, and I'm watching this data. And they have a bunch of like, it's not powdered. It's like still the sticks. There's big chunks of still whole bark. Yeah. And they get some and they drop it in Charlie's palm. And literally everything just boom, like immediately shot up. And it had a major effect on Charlye. And the thing is that you can, it doesn't go by just how much you like it. Because there were things that they put in my hands that I fucking loved. Yeah. But it had no effect.
She handed me at some point, I forget what it was. There was a lot of things going on. She handed me something that I remember thinking in my head, oh, this will do it.
Yeah. I thought that's no.
And then after a couple of seconds of like looking at the computer, like with a nah face, she was like, nah, and like took it back.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, that was unexpected.
Yeah. And so the cinnamon was like, oh, boom, And so then following that, she put some, because then I think you are so higher chakra focused as well. But as the amplifier, she threw in some clear quartz, right? Or was that last? Smoky quartz, yeah, which is great.
To kind of focus it up. And at this point, I want to interject that I am holding Cinnamon, who has truly turned out to be my Lord and Savior, a garnet.
Yeah.
And then she goes to drop in the smoky quartz. Well, and it's at this point.
And so when, the cinnamon had the big effect and all of that jazz. And so then she grabbed a smoky quartz, which is really appropriate because Charlye works with smoky quartz a lot.
You know what? We learned some things that we learned why I think that we're drawn to some things. It's not just because we like them.
Yeah.
But I think it's because we intuitively know. Have felt like when I'm around this thing, it makes me feel better.
And so she grabbed this clear quartz. God damn it, smoky quartz. It's a very, very clear smoky quartz.
It's not a dark one. So my other one's nearly black. It's so smoky. Yeah. So yeah.
It's throwing me off. So she put the smoky quartz in Charlie's hand and I saw the impact that it had. And I kind of like raised my eyebrows.
Your whole body.
I leaned back because that, it was just very interesting because, like I said, I have doubts with crystals. And I saw the real-time effect that it had in Charlie's chakras. And I knew that it's a stone that resonates with her, and it's not like Myra knew this, you know?
And we made a point to not come in covered in stones.
Yeah. Which she would have made them take. She would have
made us take
them
off because you did have a tiger's eye bracelet on.
I had my tiger's eye bracelet on, and I went in and took off my engagement ring because it's aquamarine. So I took it off. I took off everything, but so she wants you to start at a clean slate.
Yeah.
And so that had a big effect. The smoky quartz one, like I did, I was like, oh shit.
She dropped it in my hand, and at this point I'm trying to not look at anything. So I just feel the weight of the stone, but I'm still seeing everyone in my periphery, and I see Mace just like throw her arm over the back of her chair, and she like, with this aghast look on your face, you were just like, shit.
It was just getting too real,
you know? It's just, I was like, something just happened. Because everyone else in the room, when they reacted, of course, if it was a very obvious, like,
yeah,
you know what that means. But I know Macy.
Yeah.
And I
have
know
a very expressive face.
And even when you don't, even when it's just an eyebrow cock, like just kind of.
It's like, oh, okay.
It's like, I could see her doing these things after it had already affected me. So, and it was just cool to see sometimes she'd put something in my hand and like nothing.
Yeah.
So Macy kind of was my tell.
Yeah.
You know, so I would watch her and then she would try out these different things and Macy would just like shift.
Yeah.
Or like just, oh. She was letting out Owen Wilson wows.
Wow. I did several.
Wow.
And so then she said commonly, people who work in the higher chakras and whatnot, it's good to have a clarifier stone. And those dark grounding stones, you know, kyanite, obsidian, are really good for that. And so like the last boy with Charlye was, which again, very appropriate, was obsidian.
Yeah.
And she dropped this nice little meaty obsidian in your palm and everything just slipped into synchronicity.
Yeah.
Like it was just like,
and this was at the point that all three of you at the same time made a noise like, there it is.
Well, that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like you all agreed. You were like, we're done.
It was so cool. And the thing is with Charlye that was really interesting. You were very easy. It's like, I don't want to say you were easy to fix because that's not the right way, but your combination, was pretty clear.
Yeah.
You know, and it was clear in the sense too, it's much more, I'm trying to think of that. It's not, it doesn't take much.
Yeah.
You know, like really your combination was not that big of things.
It makes sense because I have talked about this before. I can be a very all or nothing person. I can be very polarized by things.
Yeah.
And there's not much that I feel meh about. I have strong opinions about things. So it would make sense to me that a couple of things, and it's so weird that these are with the exception of garnet, these are things that I hold near and dear. Cinnamon, smoky quartz, obsidian. That's like in my top 10 if I had to pick.
Like every day.
Yeah.
You know?
And also with her being an intuitive reader.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that she saw these words scribbled out on my forehead, but she saw the things that these stones would work with. You know what I mean? Or she felt the feelings. Like she needs a grounding stone. Let's go with obsidian or whatever. I don't know. Something just synced up so easily.
And it's not like she grabbed kyanite.
You're
no,
right.
She grabbed obsidian.
Exactly.
Like it just, it panned out
kind of like, well, I mean, there's also moments that we'll get when we get into Macy's that happened in a very similar way. And you know, and I think it makes more sense that Macy's did take more time and you had kind of a broader range of things at the end of it.
Yeah.
Because I don't think that you are very all or nothing. I think that you can be very level-headed about things.
Yeah, for the most part.
You know.
I can typically maintain a level, but in order for me to do that, I usually have to shut my heart chakra down.
Well,
you know,
yeah.
To be able to maintain practicality, you know, like just to...
Practical is the word that I was going for.
Yeah, you know, and I didn't used to have any sense really of pragmatism. I mean, I always have. That's not true. Even when I was in high school, I was in bed by 9. You know, I've always had like this sense of pragmatism.
And you don't really get hot about things.
Not often.
Not off the bat.
I used to.
There are things you get mad about, don't get me wrong. But very few things... Sometimes things will happen and I will have like a volatile reaction. Yeah. Whereas you kind of like chew it over and you're it makes me mad, but
I try to, like we've said before, assume innocence and not arrogance.
Right.
I really try to be like, so, and like, you know, for instance, when you read something, you have people who are just like, I can't believe that you said this, or it's like, or they just don't know that this isn't an okay thing to say. Yeah. You know, like I usually try to You're
not reactionary.
Yeah, I try not to be.
A great thing.
I used to be. It took a lot. I used to be. I mean, I used to be much more snappy. You know, and I realized though that was something that if I didn't check, could make me a very not pleasant person to be around.
Right. Yeah.
You know, and I had to reel that in. So, you know, we were on the high of Charlye's thing, which was really incredible to witness.
And I haven't seen any of this data yet. And just watching their reactions being so similar, I was so ready to see the other side of the computer.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. All right. So I pop down. I just pop right down. And so it takes a while to chill. It takes a minute, you know, and she snaps the picture. And so like Charlye, I'll go through the aura. Like we'll start with that. My aura is very fire earth tone.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, it's earthy. It is deep scarlet, orange, and like sunflower yellow.
Yeah.
But
this is just Beltane.
Yeah, you'd look at it and be like, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we'll start at the top. And that is your thoughts, inspiration, goals. And so the top of mine is a pretty red orange. Mm-hmm. It's chill in there, which it says productive, physically, physical expression, creative expression, adventure, and business, which Charlye and I are very like-minded in that regard. And it has that it just seemed very fitting for the head to be in that color tone. And so then you have the right side of the person, which is the right side on the photo, at least. And that is how people perceive you. And mine is a very sunflower yellow.
Yeah, which is almost the only time that shows up.
Yeah. Well, it like wound up moving to my future energy.
Yeah.
Which was good, I thought. So, and this is the perception of people or how they see you. And it says playful, sunny, easygoing, creative, intellectual, entertaining, and active. And I was like, well, that's fair.
Yeah.
She said, it looks, this is, physical exercise is involved and things like that. And I was like, well, that's fair.
Makes sense. Yeah.
And so then the right.
I remember you were like, well, I do like to exercise.
I was like, and she was like, that shows signs of like physical. And I was like, I'm all about the physical exercise. And so then there's the right side, which is the left side of the person. Like, if they're, this is a reverse image. And that for me is a scarlet. It's a deep, deep red. And that is how you want to, where you kind of want to go. And it's physical, hardworking, power, realistic, vital, grounded, strength, and stamina. And this is a good and a bad thing. And I really appreciate that this was on here. And I'm glad that when I was balanced, it was gone.
Yeah.
Because I keep myself at a level of discipline that is honestly exhausting.
You really do.
And it's not, and I never can see the fruits of my labor. And I don't mean that just from like an exercise standpoint, but like even after being 24, saving the money, working jobs we hated, moving, saving the money to buy a house, do all of these things, I will just be like, I'm 25 and I haven't done anything with my life.
Right.
And I don't see, I don't see college. I don't see working different places and grow. No, I don't see that. I see what I haven't done yet. And I'm really bad about that. And just like with yoga, I've started it 3 months ago, but God damn it, if I'm not able to do a handstand by November,
a 4-hour handstand.
Yeah, I am like not satisfied. And it's really not always a good thing to have it to where it's like, I got to just hustle all the time and I got to improve because if I'm not improving, I'm wasting my time. Right. But I'm so busy thinking that way, I'm not seeing my improvements.
You don't see the improvements. It's like being driven to a fault.
Yes.
Yeah, it's being so driven that you're blinded by how driven you are.
You are. Yeah. And that's exactly it. And so I was not surprised. And she also said, very competitive.
Yeah.
That's like, and I was like,
yeah. When she said that, I was like, oh yeah.
So that was that. And so then you have the feet, the bottom feet area, which is a very split blend of like a deep red and a yellow.
Yeah. Also that scarlet, which is good to me because it's like, there are good parts about being driven and there's good parts about being competitive, yada yada. It's just not both of your feet are in it,
Yeah.
So it's not like the only place that you're going.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, and it was a decent mix, because it's orange and red. So, and it's that deep red, that same thing of physical, hardworking, realistic, grounded, stamina, strength, but also that orange is thrown in there, and that is, productive, creative, business. And I was like, that's good that that's our journey.
Yeah.
And like, that's I'm okay with that mix.
Yeah.
That's good that that's kind of the resting
to mix.
one.
Yeah, that's your good resting state is and that's what I was kind of proud about is neither of us in our resting states was it like stagnant.
Yeah.
Or like not motivated.
Yeah.
In our resting states, we are both still
there's hustle,
creative and hustling, and like it's like that makes sense.
Yeah, it does. I was like, all right, I can dig with it.
It was a nice little reminder of like, I don't know. It's just because sometimes you're just correct. Sometimes you do get blinded by being driven, that you don't see progress. And
yes.
yada, yada.
Yeah.
So it's nice to know in our complete 0 level, ground zero, we're still kind of doing something right.
Yeah, like we will do something.
Yeah. We'll get something done is what I'm trying to say.
So then there's the center base color, and that's not the same as your heart area.
Mm-hmm.
So my center base color is, I would say that's orange. Mm-hmm. It's like I
think that's
orange
the one.
red.
Yeah.
Sorry. So my center base color was orange red, which kind of combined that physical as well as the creative, which is like very appropriate. I was cool with that. And that also was still my center color when this was all over. And that is my, I am a creative, but I'm also a very physical person. And that marriage between the two is sometimes contradictory, but it works for me. And I was happy that it was kind of my base for both. And then there's the center color, which was kind of this yellow-orange, which maintained also and matched Charlie's, which I really liked that.
Yeah. That was cool. That was really nice to see. It was just kind of like an aw.
Yeah, it was nice.
Moment.
So then we'll go through the chakras. Okay, so I looked at this printed photo, and my root chakra is stupid.
It looks like it's covering your entire butthole. Like it's just, it's so big.
It's massive. It is so big it's encroaching on the sacral.
It's blending, and it's by far and away your largest one. And the thing is about these photos, guys, when you do have a large chakra,
you can see it.
It's kind of transparent.
Yeah.
Though.
Yeah.
But yours is large and opaque.
Which she said something very interesting about that. And I fully believe, and she corroborated it, what I just went through with Jorah has put a tremendous strain on my chakras.
Yeah.
And while I talked...
2 of them in particular.
Yeah. Well, and it's funny because I'm still a novice with a lot of chakra stuff. And what I predicted was right, but I didn't have the right chakra for it.
Right.
Because I didn't know that certain things affect certain ones. I did not know. And it wound up being correct. And so while my root is big, it's large, kind of almost overactive, high energy, but there's some stress there. And I'm okay with that. I feel like there should be. That's my sense of security. Yeah. And the past 2 weeks, my sense of security and Jorah he is a big sense of my security. Having him there makes me feel grounded. So there's stress in there. And I think that was very appropriate. And I asked her, I was like, and of course she's working and finding our things, and it's going to have more of an instantaneous effect. But she did kind of say traumatic events like that can take time to recover from. And Jorah's only been gone or back for a week. And I still sometimes look at him and I'm like, I can't believe I'm looking at your face.
Yeah.
I can't believe that I'm waking up and you are here and not gone. And it takes time to piece back together.
You're still going to be, that confidence or in that feeling of security is going to be shook for a little while.
It is, and that's what she said. That stress in there is like, I might let him out and he might not come back, and it's that worry of what if this happens again?
Yeah.
And so it's stress, but I'm not surprised that it was that large. One, it's my dominant chakra, but I worked out, like I said in the last episode, I was working in the dirt last week and I was planting shit and smelling the earth under my fingernails. Like
you were your spirit name, Macy.
Yeah, I was, and shit was working. And so that one I was like, cool, I can dig it. So my sacral chakra was pretty healthy. There was good energy flow through there. Good, not a whole lot of focus. And she said there's some fatigue in there, like we talked about earlier, that creative fatigue that can come from turning art into business.
Yeah. But again, I want to point out, it wasn't like a huge deal with either.
Yeah, and when it's not stressed.
Yeah.
It's just, it shows that there's some of that in there, and it can come and go. But it wasn't like deep, dirty orange to show that we're like,
and it's not super small either.
No,
so it's like,
good and open, good size, it's healthy.
Yeah.
So that was nice.
A good 5 out of 5.
Good, yeah. Just humming. Now the solar plexus chakra was a very big surprise. And a very big surprise until she explained it, and then I realized my preconceived notions were what were incorrect, and what she was saying made perfect sense. So my solar plexus chakra, which is usually, I feel like, where I feel things the most, which also kind of makes this make sense. She said it was very, very stressed and very, very tight.
Yeah. I mean, looking at all of them, and I'm not wearing glasses, and I'm sitting across the couch from you, so I am just getting like a overarching idea of everything. Like, I can pick it out of a lineup.
It's very sad.
Yeah. All of your other ones, they're kind of soft around the edges. Yeah. And this one, it's like a marble.
Yeah. And it's still defined, but it's tight. And she was looking at it and she said it was that thing of it hooks, you know, and there's a lot of, and really Jorah dominates this reading. There's a lot of guilt with that. You know, I've been walking around, and even when he was gone, tremendous amount of guilt, almost to the point where I felt so guilty. I was like, I don't even deserve to get him back. Because in being so cocky and comfortable with him, I let this happen. And I, you know, that was part of the reasons for not eating I just felt so shitty that I had let this happen, and I should have known better. And I still carry that. You know, I know that if he would have been chipped, he wouldn't have lived 2 weeks in terror in a shelter, even a nice one, you know, like, and I've really been struggling with that and trying to get over that and not feel so bad about it. And he's getting better, and that's making me feel better, because the first few days he was home, he was a nervous wreck. So it was very, very tight and guilty. Just a lot of negativity floating around in that chakra, which makes sense. You know, I've had a lot more anxiety lately, and I usually don't struggle with it too much, but I haven't recovered from it. I'm still feeling those feelings from a couple weeks ago, and they have just not dissipated. And I feel like it's because it was locked. Yeah. It couldn't dissipate.
Yeah.
Next is the heart chakra, which called this one is so teeny tiny and so wispy and pathetic.
Yeah. It's sad looking.
Very sad.
We knew that.
Yes. And that's what I expected, you know?
No shock there.
She looked at it and she was like, okay, we're going to have to work on this one, you know? And I told her, I was like, look, I have very strong empathic tendencies, and I've had them my whole life. And when I was younger and didn't even know what they were, I just shut down my emotions. And that was, you know, and not in a cold way. And I would still talk people through things. Like, if you come to me with a problem, I'm never going to be the one to like hold your, like, you know, hug you. And no, that's not what I'm going to do. I'm going to, I will take a reading and then immediately shut down and be like, all right, so here's what we're going to do.
Yeah.
You know, and I will take this very clinical approach to it. That's always been the way I've been, because, and if I'm in crowds, I just have to like put this shell on. It's one of the reasons I don't think I can't live in cities. I can't be in crowds, because it's so overwhelming, and I've never learned how to control it, that I just have to close my heart center off. And I've done it my entire life, and I don't really know how to stop doing it. And so it was very, 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 very closed and teeny tiny and pitiful, and very stubbornly stuck that way. We'll get to that, the challenges of the heart chakra, in a moment. Then there was the throat chakra, which she said also needed some work. And I told her, because I have been, and y'all know about it, I've been having throat issues for the past like 4 or 5 months.
Yeah.
Allergies are attacking my tonsils, and they're sick every single day, and I want to cut them out myself, and I'm so tired of it. And I told her that, you know, after
I've offered.
I'm so sorry. I mean, right now they are just on fire. And I told her, I was like, I've been having chronic throat issues for 6 months. And she's like, it looks like it. Like, And I
love that was like that was obviously the part, like, you knew immediately, like, that's what's wrong with this one, because you do otherwise have a really healthy throat chakra.
Yeah. The size isn't bad. And I talked about it on, you know, the previous episode. Like, it's not that I have a problem speaking my mind, but it has been sick.
Yeah.
And it's stressed. It's like a black blue. It's very dark, very stressed. And it's because it's just been sick for months, and not very surprised by that. I was like, that fits. Third eye is pretty fucking healthy. Yeah. There wasn't much to write home about.
Yeah.
On the third eye. It's a good color. It's a good size. It's good kind of center.
The before and the after look very similar.
Aren't that different? And that was similar for both you and me, which I was happy about. My crown chakra is pretty unimpressive.
Yeah.
It's there, you can see it, but it's kind of a deep mauve.
Yeah.
And it's just there.
Yeah.
You know, there's not much going on.
Very tiny.
Yeah.
By far the smallest. And she said that was normal. However, it does point out to me how, in comparison to your solar plexus, it highlights how small your solar plexus
I know.
And your heart is, because it's almost the same size as your crown.
I know. It's bad.
All right. Let's talk about the experience of it all.
It was a very anxiety-inducing experience for me because I thought that I was a dead person in a living body.
Yeah, after a while. Well, look at your timestamps. How far apart are your before and after?
It took 30 minutes.
Yeah. While in comparison, my first one was at 118. Well, mine took a little bit too, but we were breaking it down.
Well, and yeah, when she hooked you up, she was using your levels to explain how the process worked. But your whole actual treatment process
was not that.
Took maybe
comparatively
took maybe 8 minutes.
Yeah.
And mine took, I don't know, fucking 25 maybe. Took a really long time. But anyway, I'll let you go into it.
What's okay, yeah, let's start it. We'll start at the beginning. So we switch places. What I thought was funny is I remember towards the end of my session, because I do know Macy and because I'm kind of watching her for reactions, I notice that she kind of is shifting a lot. So I remember making a mental note of like, okay, before she gets up here, I'm going to remind her to go pee.
Yeah.
And again, like that's that mom energy coming through.
And the moment it was my turn, I was like, all right, let me go pee. She's like,
let me go pee. And I was like, okay, good. I was going to ask. So we switch places and I'm seeing this data, right? And there's a lot to it. There's kind of a main page where you see everything, a smaller version of everything, but then you can click on the small version and it brings it up very large, right? Yeah. And so we have a graph that I don't know what it means, and there's a bullseye circle with percentages on it that I don't really know what it means.
Was your
how large your aura like it extends, you know? And graphs and just all kinds of shit, right? So basically the thing that I ended up looking at was the columns.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
So there's one page where there's 7 columns, each in a color that corresponds with the chakra that it's tied to. And it's a graph, you know, basically. It can be at 20% or it can be at 90, 100%, whatever. And it just kind of shows you, I guess that's an overall health meter, I guess. There might be something deeper to it. But in my mind, it was like, the higher this bar is what we're going for. Yeah.
Well, and like a good balance. She said the closer to 100 you can get, the better.
It's like the most ideal.
Yeah. I guess. But when they're all balanced, it's fine.
Yeah.
You know.
It's all right.
It's all right.
So you start off looking pretty how you would expect based on your before pictures, right? Everything's kind of okay, you know, maybe 75-80% ish up there, except for your heart and your sacral.
Oh, solar,
sorry.
Yeah, and my throat at the beginning was a little fucked up, but it responded decently fast.
No, see, and that's the thing. That's what's crazy is every other piece of this puzzle was fixed like that. As quick as mine, you know? But these two, the heart and your solar, were stuck.
They were closed.
So the first thing that happened, I forget what stone was first. Oh, okay. So the very first thing that happened was they brought over some herbs because they had asked us, what do you work with? Yeah. And we both were kind of like...
I was a little bit more unsure, you know, because I kind of work with a little bit of everything. And
you said sound, actually. The very first thing was
my first one because it puts me in such a meditative state. I assume, well, because of that, it would do this. Mm-hmm. And I was like, you know, oils, scents, and I was like, and maybe crystals? Yeah. Is my
tone reading?
Is my tone reading? And like, I threw that in there, and boy, no.
Boy. So the first thing that happened is the lady who was being trained and running and grabbing things, she went and very smartly grabbed like the corresponding bells.
Yeah, the chakra bells.
Which
sound... I want to get a set because I was listening to them and I was just like, oh,
they're nice.
I'm getting in like a nice place about it.
So she came and she starts ringing it, right? And I'm watching the chart and nothing happens. Not even with your other ones. Mm-mm. And at this point, I'm kind of like, what am I looking? When do I have my big reaction like Macy had? When do I lean back in my chair and Owen Wilson? Wow. And so she's ringing it and nothing's happened. And I'm kind of looking at their two faces as well, seeing, because they're also have a look of like steely determination, you know? So I'm like, okay, cool. I know that, yes, I'm correct in my assumption that this isn't doing it, you know? So she said, what about a singing bowl? So she runs and gets a singing bowl and they make it sing. And again,
And she said there was a little thing, like a little reaction with the bowl, but not enough to count.
And she can read those charts.
Yeah.
And I can't. So basically the whole time I am looking at two things. I'm looking at your aura field percentage, like how large it is, which I think at the time was like 30%.
It was not very big. And I mean, you can even tell
both of ours
first
very
photos.
close, tight to our bodies. And then I was looking at those graphs. So if anything else was changing, I wasn't really seeing it because I don't know how to read it.
Yeah.
And I don't want to assume. So nothing that I saw and a little thing that she saw changed with the singing bowl. So we moved to herbs. She gets some rose and puts the rose in your hand, and very interesting. It was the first little glimpse that I got. Everything kind of reset and fluctuated.
Yeah.
And that was cool to see because I didn't see anything necessarily rocket up, but there was an adjustment. There was a reaction. Mm-hmm. And as soon as it hit your hand, I was like, that's really cool.
That's what it looks like. Which is, it was very appropriate. I love rose. I drink rose in my special kidney tea. It doesn't really need to be in there.
My specialty.
My specialty.
It's your specialty.
And I just put it in there because I love rose, and I thought it was neat that I've incorporated it into my wellness routine.
And it's something that seemingly, what I saw, helped to raise and kind of balance and fluctuated, and it did something, right? So then you're holding that in your hand.
Yeah.
And then the next thing we move on to. She broke out the stones, put the rose quartz in your hand. Not much happened, not enough to impact my memory in any way. Mm-hmm. So she took that away. And what was funny about that is when she took it away, Macy would do this funny thing where several times she would put things into your hand and it wouldn't do hardly anything. Mm-hmm. But when she took it away,
I would improve a little bit.
You would improve.
My body does not respond to crystals.
Well, see, I'm wondering if it wasn't almost that was the function. Yeah. Is she put that in and it took it from you. So when she removed the stone, she removed a little bit of that.
What was going on.
Yeah.
Possibly.
So maybe like you were kind of being affected by them, but just not in the same way. They weren't bringing an energy to you.
They weren't giving me sustainable aid.
Taking it from you.
Yeah.
And then she dropped a stone in Macy's hand and this is one of the wildest things I think I've ever seen. You know the scene in Lord of the Rings when
he drops
the ring into Frodo's hand? And he's like, it is quite cool. Right after he's burned it.
Yeah.
And Frodo has a moment of like almost a flinch where he thinks it's going to be hot.
Yes, I was picturing
That's
the
what
same thing.
you did.
Yeah.
And she dropped this stone in your hand, and it was
little.
Second,
it was like a little stone,
little
but like
tiny.
I jolted from it.
And the second that it happened, it's like she flatlined.
All of my levels were obliterated.
All of her chakra levels like severely dipped.
And it was like one of those, nope. And like she pulled that back.
Quickly. She was like, no. And like snatched that away. And like that had to be a moment that all three of us like must have reacted.
Well, and I looked at her and I was like, I felt that.
Cause you did. You looked at me and said, I felt, you said that felt like a shock. Mm-hmm. And again, because I know you and I know your mannerisms, as soon as it hit, nothing else made you make a face. But you kind of,
yeah, it was weird.
It was like that, it was like, what's it called? Confused blinking guy. Where he's
when he's doing that face.
That's kind of what you pulled, So she snatched that away and I said,
was emerald.
What was that? She said, that's an emerald.
Not my friend.
So we're going to keep you away from that.
No emerald, please.
Which is strange because I love, it's so beautiful.
Greens,
we've talked about it before,
Yeah.
But it really did you no favors.
It did me no favors.
And it was weird seeing something do harm. It's because it didn't just shift things around in a weird way.
No.
Like it did harm.
Whatever frequency or whatever is going on with emerald, it is no bueno for me.
Not good for you.
Yeah. And then she tried some of the higher level chakras or chakra stones. Which didn't
pretty much nothing.
Nothing happened.
Pretty much no reaction at all. Sometimes things would kind of shift around, and it was very, we were all kind of like,
so then we gave up on crystals.
So we moved. The next thing she pulled out, and I was really pulling for, and I didn't say it. I think I might have said it, and I hope I didn't sway anything here, but she pulled out High John, and the only reason I said, I'm pulling for this, I like this, is because I knew it was High John, and I don't think you knew that yet.
I didn't know what it was because I've actually never seen the root.
Yeah, it's in its root form,
and I didn't really know what it was.
It's a solid nug. It looks like a lava stone almost,
and it smells like barbecue.
That's what Macy said.
It smells like a barbecue rub. It smells delicious.
So she puts this in your hand, and there was a strong reaction. And she was like, at this point, she said something
she was
like,
happy to see anything.
She was like, at this point, we're going to keep anything that gives you any kind of reaction.
Yeah.
Because it's not like it pulled a particular one up at all. They just kind of all went.
Yeah, they flopped around.
And she was like, yeah, that's good. That's good. You know, let's keep it. And then Macy smelled it. And you said, it smells like a good barbecue rub.
It does. I love it.
The way you said it. Okay. So, and then we moved to oils, and I remember you sniffed some things without much effect.
She threw this self-love oil. It was on that cork.
Yeah.
And so I had it, High John, and the rose.
And that was giving reaction.
Yeah, a little
bit. Self-love oil is, I don't think we don't have any particular ingredients, but it's something they've blended for self-love, which she was really focusing on because of that solar plexus and that stuff. She then came along with some
I think that's when she threw
Palo Santo.
They were starting to figure out that earth shit was making a difference.
More your gig. So she threw in some Palo Santo, and the moment like you touched it and it kind of went, there was reactions, but when you smelled it,
I love it.
It actually pulled, and it was the very first thing. It actually pulled that heart and that sacral up. The solar. Jesus, I do that every time. It actually pulled that heart and that solar up. It was a very minimal amount, but it was the first thing that pulled it up. So we kept that, and then Macy had like a cinnamon moment of like this was. Her if the cinnamon moment was like a very Charlye moment, she had her very Macy moment.
It was one where after it happened, everybody was giving each other smarmy glances.
We were like, So at this point, we are figuring out. We're seeing a trend here. Not only does Mace like the earthy, herby kind of stuff, but it's also stuff that we've talked about a lot on this podcast.
Yeah,
and we know we like. So
and there was already kind of a sense of exasperation was growing at this point. Of like.
Maybe I should make what is something, and this is where I imagine you're sitting there feeling like a dead body.
I was, and Myra was even, like, she told us later, she was like, she told us, like, later, she was, like, looking around at her books under the table, like, I might have to start pulling shit out. Yeah,
she was like, I'm going to have to look at my reference points here. So the woman that we were working with who was going and grabbing things off the shelves, and she's learning how to read, she's just super intuitive.
Very intuitive.
And this moment speaks to not only you and your love of this particular thing, but it also speaks to her level of reading and her level of sensitivity, because she comes back with this bottle, and you don't see a label. It's just
a brown bottle.
Just one of the brown like essential oil bottles. She brings it back, and as she is handing it to Myra, as she is like going to put it in her hand, Mace goes, she's like, I don't know if I'm like
we were
allowed.
Trying to spitball almost at this point. Like
and I think you said something like, I'm not sure if I'm even allowed to like make suggestion. You were like, could we try some patchouli? And the woman is in mid process of handing the biggest bottle of patchouli I have ever seen. And when she said that, she just kind of stopped, and like we all like kind of looked at each other, and we were like, that means this is gonna work.
This is gonna happen.
And we were like, it charged it with this energy of like, let's see what happens because she called it, It was like your version of calling the shot. Like you called the pocket on patchouli. And so she put some on the lid and handed it to you, and there was a market effect. Again, not completely fixed.
They're like chipping upwards
but
slowly.
This was the point that everything else reached its peak.
Yeah.
Everything else got to the point that it would eventually stay at. It was with the patchouli, which, I mean, shit. What do you wear as perfume on a daily basis?
It's my daily
What have
oil.
as evidence on this podcast said is like your favorite thing.
Yeah.
Patchouli.
It's patchouli. And I mean, it's that same thing. We gravitate to what we need for a reason.
Not just because we like it, and not just because it's like, oh, this smells like earth and I like the earth.
There's this intuitive need for it.
We know somewhere deep down that these things that we like, there's a deeper meaning to it than just cinnamon smells good. Yeah. Or I like patchouli because I grew up with it.
There's a spiritual connection
there. And that's another thing that we both really walked away with here, is that sense of like trust those things.
Yeah.
Trust the things that you like because there is a reason for them. And if you've always liked this particular scent, it's helping you in some way, probably, you know? So, okay. So then I think we blow through a couple more things trying to figure out what's wrong with
and then
you.
it's stuck again. It's not moving anymore.
She said, I'm going to try some more stones. She was like, she said, get me a tiger's eye.
Yeah.
To the woman who was kind of grabbing things for us. And I said, well, she has a tiger's eye bracelet right here that you had taken off previously.
It's just a whole bunch of little stones.
And she's like, okay. She's like, so she took that from me and put it in your hand. And that was the second item that affected these 2 chakras that were just stuck.
Yeah.
And it was this glimmer of like, we might be onto something.
Yeah.
And I guess that sparked something in her. Mm-hmm. Tiger's eye, she made some connection with.
Once she figured that out, the end came quickly.
It was almost over. We're in the home stretch here. She calls out across the store. She's like, bring me a red and a blue tiger's eye.
Yeah.
And which I didn't know existed.
Which I didn't hear.
Yeah.
Nor did I also know that they existed.
Right. I had no clue.
I always thought tiger's eye that was blue was actually like, I thought it was a different stone. I thought cat's eye. And cat's eye apparently I don't think is blue tiger's eye. I did not know a goddamn thing.
Yeah. and I didn't know that you didn't hear it because these stones, let me say, they're called red and blue tiger's eye, but they don't look red and blue.
They're very deep brown red and black blue.
Yeah.
So you can't
You
really
would not,
tell.
It's a situation like I had with the garnet. You would not look at this and go, that's red.
It's not like when you look at gold tiger's eye and you're like, that's very obviously 100% tiger's eye. It's like, no, these look very tricky.
Yeah. But you do, when you get up there, you see those fractally,
you turn it in the light and it refracts
and you're
whatever.
like, oh, that's absolutely tiger's eye. But she brings it, and this moment, you guys, she reaches out with the red and the blue.
And I already have the gold in my hand.
She's already holding it, but she's coming in with those last 2. And I mean, it might have even happened before she touched your skin. But she puts them into Macy's hand. And the world opened up.
Yeah.
I mean, everything was right in that moment. All of your columns like shot up to where they're supposed to be. Mm. Your aura field went from like a 30% to like a 90%.
90? Yeah.
Everything on that computer screen changed. And all 3 of us.
Like, it was to the point to I thought it broke my levels again because nobody said a fucking word. Because like y'all all just sat there looking at the screen and then y'all kind of all looked at each other and I was like...
And gave each other smarmy faces.
Yeah.
But I remember, like, me not even knowing what I'm looking at, agreed. Like, we were all like, and there it is. We're done.
Yeah.
We've done all we can do here. Because it just so completely fixed everything.
Yeah.
It so completely rounded you out.
Yeah.
Which was a lot to that they're in the same family.
And she said
that they do work as a trio.
Trio jewelry of tiger's eye is pretty powerful because they do all have different things and working together. She said there's like this unifying force that comes with it. And it's just so very appropriate because
well, I mean, you wear it every day.
Every single day. It's my favorite stone.
Another instance of something that you're drawn to being the thing that balanced you.
Yes. Well, and the thing is too, I mean, and it's like, I know it's not a literal comparison, but I used to work with big cats. I really have a huge soft spot for lions and tigers and like that energy that comes with them. And tiger's eye, it's my favorite stone, and I love the raw, powerful energy of it. I love everything about it. And it's just so weird that these 2 more versions of it that I had never heard of are what it took to balance me out.
Yeah.
So I have them and I'm holding them and I want to find a way or maybe even commission someone to mount them onto a leather snap like armband, to where they're still raw and big, but they're like sitting up on the top and I can wear it.
You can wear around.
Because it was huge. It was a massive, massive fucking difference. And it took all 3.
Yeah.
The gold one helped, but it was the weirdest thing.
They had to come in like a little family of badasses. And even sitting there looking at them now, they look like just like a gang.
Yeah, and they look like they belong together. Yeah. Like you have the littler one in the middle and they kind of work. So the final mix was in the order of appearance was that stuck. Hi John.
Rose.
Oh, Rose. Hi John. Palo Santo. Self-love and Palo Santo. I don't remember. And then Tiger's Eye. And red and blue tiger's eye. And it was a walk to get there.
Yeah. And some of it, some of it she was holding on to just because it had a reaction.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering if some of those were even taken away, if that tiger's eye itself would have held that steady.
Maybe.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because it was the last thing.
A big deal.
It's like, we're not even going to take anything away.
No,
we're just going to leave it.
We're not going to fuck with it.
Here's your mix.
Whatever this mix is working.
But they were so generous because everything that we held on to that worked, she said, this is my gift to you.
Yeah. And like everything from like little 1 gram oil bottles and, you know, stones, a whole stick of Palo Santo, like nice things.
Yeah. And she was, and it was truly from a place of, you could tell she was like, this worked for you. These are yours. You know, when people say like, when an item calls to you, or like when you pick up a stone and it zings and it sings to you, like it's picked you. That was like her attitude. She was like, okay, these are the things that have picked you. Like you take these home because they've fixed.
Yeah, I'm not gonna fuck with that.
They fixed you.
Like, I'm not gonna go on messing with that.
So that was kind of the whole experience. We then printed out our after photos, which I don't think we need to really break down.
No,
because
they look great.
They look awesome. They're yellow and they're orange, and for both of us, our overarching color is orange, which says artistic, physical, creative expression and excitement, which is again that color that we both had at our core, at our heart. So what it did is it just made our entire aura kind of matched that of our true quote unquote aura.
Well, and we met in the middle, and that's what's so interesting, because in the way that our negative qualities and positive qualities in you and me manifest in different ways, you know? And I think it's so interesting that the colors that were so opposite. So for me, that aggressive red, that never resting red of always having to go and do all of this shit, it cooled. Yeah. And your cool colors heated up a little bit to balance. A little bit of warmth. We met in this middle tone of this orange, and I think it's so interesting that my second one has none of that dark red. Yeah. It's gone. Yeah. And your coolness has also kind of leveled out.
Kind of, you know, and I see around the edges, and a little bit with you, I think, almost like a green is starting to appear.
Yeah. Yeah. I see it on the lower corners. There's a little bit of that. In the upper corner, there's a little bit of green. Not much, but it's there.
So... And also just the size.
I mean, I would say they're 30% bigger. Yeah. You know, I mean.
Yeah, the before picture, it's almost touching our heads. Like it kind of cuts off right outside of our bodies.
Yeah. Honestly, I'd say it's bigger than that. I would say it's almost, it's big.
It's a lot bigger. We are fully inside of an egg.
Yes.
Versus kind of just being in a weird small blob. Yeah. So that's nice. That's good to know. And also you can really see where our, you know, guides came through and we're sitting there on our, you know, and that's very interesting that the way she said it was kind of like, sometimes they show up, you know, and she was just, it was a very just factual thing. It wasn't like a big deal. Like because when people get real, like, you have someone stepping through, someone's talking to me, and they make a big deal out of it. I'm like,
she wasn't even going to mention it until we asked.
Exactly. Yeah. Because I think that it is so much more common. And being somebody who works with spirit, I mean, in this room right now, I feel 2 things, at least with us, that are like, I'm here making just themselves hanging, you know, and like, it's not that uncommon. Yeah. So when people kind of make this big deal out of it, I'm kind of like, charlatan. Yeah. So she was just like, oh yeah, they're here.
Yeah. In NBD.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, those are probably ancestors. They step through.
Yeah. Yeah. You know, and which of course to me makes me go googly eyed.
I was happy about it too. Yeah. I've been working a lot with, the whole Hecate thing happened, but I've been working more with earth spirits. Yeah. You know, it's summertime for me, peak time. I've been going out in the woods and communicating with who I'm talking to. And I haven't met with Yoxin in a while, but a lot of that's because I feel like I don't need to. Yeah. At the moment.
I feel like Yoxin showed up last year real heavy as we're starting to slip into autumn.
Yeah. I feel like most of those big, crazy interactions were... And now as I go into it, I'll understand what they were for. I think they were to help prepare me, and I didn't use that. But I'm excited too because... my aura changed. So from where my whole side of my future energy, my projecting, it changed from that never resting, in my opinion, because I know myself, a discontent red to that sunflower yellow, which was on softened. How people saw me. And it's just energetic and creative. And it's so good to know that because, you know, I bought canvas and Hunter with you this weekend, and he's putting, I usually build them, but he has power tools. So it was like, hey, you know, you could like build a frame.
Hey, if you felt like it.
Yeah. And so he's like building my frame and whatnot because I have a painting in mind. And I haven't had a painting in mind in a while because I get in slumps, you know, and I haven't done a fresh, like not my mural, because my mural is a whole battle that I'm having to deal with in my brain.
It's an ordeal.
It's a whole ordeal. But the joy of painting something new, I haven't done largely because of the mural.
The joy of painting.
The joy of painting.
Wasn't that Bob Ross's show? Yeah.
And I'm excited. And so I'm glad that my future energy is like, no, let's create, let's be happy. Let's be content with what you've done, you know? And I'm very happy about that because I am my own worst enemy. Yeah. And not in a confidence thing. It's always because I'm so confident in myself and my capabilities. It's like, you can do better. Yeah. You can be doing this right now, but you're doing this. And it's a nightmare.
And speaking to being, as we often are, on pretty opposite ends of things. And then as this showed us, we very much did meet in the middle. Yeah. I'm kind of on the opposite end of that. Like I am creative and I like to write and all these things, but I have such a deep, nasty relationship with what that means. And just the self-confidence there. Yeah. And being like the opposite end of like, yeah, let's do it, fuck yeah. You know, I'm almost not I'm just like, well, you know, fuck, I mean, are you creative? Yeah. Are you? Or are you just, you know, trash and you just regurgitate other people's things and like that, you know, that whole thing.
It's the same negative effect, but two different ways
of experiencing it. Yeah.
And I love how our different original photos show that. Yeah. You have that cool cerebral, like, where you can get in your head about shit. And then you went to the orange, like, let's fucking do it. Yeah. And then I had the overactive of,
I'm going to rip it.
Gotta do it right now. And if I don't do that, I fucked up. If I didn't learn this fast. And then it's like, we both met in the, let's just do this fucking shit. Yeah. You know? Like, and we really
absolutely kind of came in, and I just keep thinking of like a Venn diagram. Yeah. And we're just kind of living happy in that center. And I want to do what I can to extend that. Yeah. Because I think our before photos, as affected as they are by recent events or just how we were feeling that day or whatever, as I think this is kind of our baseline, just as who we are. Yeah. You know, and I think that we look like this now. We look like our after. But I think over time,
this is we'll go back to.
We're going to come back to this.
Unless we try to... Now with this knowledge we know. Yes. Maintain it.
Exactly. So.
I am, at the end of the day, immensely impressed.
I'm surprised with how little
negative you can say about it. Yeah. Me too.
And I don't mean that in a bad way. I don't want that to reflect poorly on any of this or anyone who is a practitioner of it or whatever. At least as we said, we haven't ever experienced it. And I was, I think maybe overly skeptical of this.
I was too.
And I didn't say so before because I want to come at it with an energy of being open to things.
And the only thing that I could try to be skeptical about, I can't be because, you know, you can think like, oh, it is odd that cinnamon and patchouli for us had such an effect. Maybe it's because you just like them. But they did so many things that I deeply love, like sound and things like that had no effect. Yeah. And so it's like, it's not that simple. Yeah. You know, but the core things that we both gravitated to intuitively because we let ourselves are the answer. Yeah. And that is what proves that to
me. Even in our stone choices. Yeah. Like, are you kidding me? Tiger's Eye over there. Yeah. And smoky quartz over here. Yeah. Like these are things that we choose. We choose to wear these just as pretty jewelry. Yeah. And there's more to it than that. Yeah. Don't wear emerald jewelry.
I'm never going to wear emerald jewelry. I'm like, honestly, well, and so many crystals just like for instance, amethyst, she put in my hand and took away. Yeah. Because it really didn't do me any favors. Yeah. And I wear my huge amethyst chunk all the time.
You said that. You were like, I wear amethyst. Should I not do this? But it didn't cause harm.
Yeah. And so I didn't do anything. I almost have to get over like this crystal hypochondria now to where it's like, are all of these going to make me worse? And
that's what I'm saying. I would kill for the chance to be hooked up to that machine for a little while.
And like, that all those vats of all of the different stones, just one by one, and then the whole wall of herbs, one by one.
Just go through it, and then like I can sit there and make notes while you're getting it done, and just be like, and then you can vice versa, and then we'll have our cheat sheet of things that our body likes.
Yes.
And then I also wonder, just there's variables to this. Did the emerald affect you in such a way because it was a stone that you don't agree with?
Yeah, but I love emerald.
Right.
That's what's so weird.
Or was it holding on to somebody's energy?
I don't know.
Was it holding on to something? Was it that particular? Like, if we took a completely different chunk of emerald, would we have a different effect?
The only reason I feel like it's very hard for negativity to remain in that store. Mm-hmm. So I feel like if it did absorb somebody's shit with all that goes on there, that shit's cleansed out by that point. Yeah. I mean, you have Cat running around that place smudging people 24/7. So like, I think that it would have been cleansed out. I just think whatever it is, maybe the vibrational pattern.
Yeah.
And then does not jive.
It makes it hard to say because they keep all of their stones out on this board it's this wooden with little cubby holes basically.
And they're all in their own little alphabetized
and it's hard to think that like if a stone was holding on to something that all of the other stones around it wouldn't cleanse it, because then my brain immediately goes to, well, I don't know if crystals work that way, but then I just saw them work that way.
Yeah, that's the thing.
I'm struggling.
It's because it's fighting with my skepticism.
Yeah.
And my skepticism is trying to find a way to rationalize
it wants to win.
And I just can't.
Yeah.
Some things are not meant to be.
Yeah.
And I think that's really, I found out that higher frequency stones don't really do shit for me.
Yeah.
And
they don't hurt you.
No, but they don't really do great. And they don't help me reach my full
nirvana
balance.
Yeah.
It's more fire and earth based shit that does that. And that's what it takes, which makes sense.
And then you got just the cutest little crop top crocheted shirt thing.
I cannot wait to wear that to the next bazaar, which might be our live show, which I also can't wait to wear it to our live show. It is a masterpiece. And the artist who made it came in and she was like, oh yeah, I made that in 2 hours. And I was like, you don't make sense. Like, I think I told her like 3 times, I was like, I don't understand that.
You did. You're like, I don't understand how you do this. And she was so sweet and so like humble about it.
Yeah. She was like, well, I've been doing it for 20 years. I was like, but I don't how do your fingers move and do this? Cause it is intricate. It has a corset lace back.
Yeah.
It has a corset lace kind of front.
Yeah.
And it is so intricate. And the fact that somebody's magic fucking fingers made that in 2 hours, I really can't even
It's hard to wrap your head around.
I don't think I
and
understand.
She even she was so cute. She like kind of blushed a little bit, and
because I was wearing it. I tried it on and like walked out, and I like looked at the staff. I was like, I'm wearing this.
Yeah, you did. You walked out. You were like, can we just ring it up? Because I'm not gonna take it off.
I pulled the tag off and I was like, here you go. And she walked in, and I was wearing it, and so that was nice. Mm-hmm. But it's cute.
It's cute. It's cute. It's cute. Check out Macy's personal Instagram for that.
It'll be on there, I'm sure. Yeah.
And then let's see what else. We came back. So the after effect. We got these after photos, and then we shopped around in the store for like another hour,
which is so easy to do. It takes several laps to take it all in.
Yeah, you got to do a practice lap. And then go through, load your basket up with everything that you want.
Yeah.
And then do a third lap to put everything back that like you're not ready for or you can't afford or like, everything. And then you're left with what you want to leave with. And I got you some Hecate oil.
You did. It smells great.
Because of your recent, I don't know.
I'm going to keep working with her.
In the bath.
Yeah.
It might, a little bit. I also got some incense that I've been wanting to try. There was that leafy freshness. What did it say?
The leafy freshness of nature.
Great. Wonderful. And then some cinnamon oil, because I've never actually, believe it or not, owned cinnamon oil.
It's easy to make. You should just diffuse some with some cinnamon bark
all
and
the time.
A carrier oil.
Knowing what I know now.
Yeah.
The cinnamon smell is going to get worse.
I used to wear, when I was younger, cinnamon perfume.
Yeah.
But you can do that. I mean, just get a good skin safe, like a grapeseed oil, and just get a mason jar and some good, like, organic cinnamon bark, and leave it in there for a few weeks, and just make yourself some. And then you can put it on your skin.
Yeah.
You should do that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm ready for it. I'm ready to diffuse it. I'm ready to put it on my pillows.
I've got to get more patchouli oil because I'm almost out and I hate it because it's so expensive.
Yeah.
It is so expensive.
Can we grow patchouli around these parts?
I don't know. I saw some people in the coven have like planted patchouli.
Because it would probably be a real trial and error process, but if you could eventually nail your
Learn
own,
how to make my own, patchouli oil.
You'd be set.
Yeah. I could get by.
Unless it's like rose oil where you need 400 pounds to make a drop.
Yeah, that's like how it was with a lot of those expensive fucking oils. Like jasmine's that way. It takes a whole ton to make anything.
When I worked at Sephora...
Which jasmine she put in my hand and took away.
Yeah, I don't really remember. I feel like most things, unless it was the things that you kept, most things didn't do anything.
Well, she tried heart stuff. Jasmine, very love oriented, rose quartz, shit like that. She'd put them in, and it was like,
well, I think your heart was so tied to your solar.
Yeah.
That like it really needed that, like it's almost like it was dragging it down. That guilt was dragging your heart down.
Yeah, and because I really do, I know my root and my solar plexus are where I lead from, and my solar plexus being shut down, I think has explained why these past few weeks, I mean, like one, obviously Jorah put me in this, I don't want to say Jorah put me in this situation, but
you did this.
That instance did this to me, and now my whole center is closed, and I've been such I've been spacey and very anxious and nervous.
Not anymore.
No, I feel good.
You're opened.
I feel like now I can understand that. Now I'm gonna take a bath today when I get home.
Yeah,
and I'm gonna meditate on all.
I
this.
think that this would be a really wise choice for us to take this information, and before any more time passes and lets it kind of revert. To kind of sit alone in our thoughts, which is what we made the decision, and I'm very glad that we made this decision.
Yes, to stew on it.
To not come home immediately and record it.
It would have been a excited manic mess.
Yeah.
Which it kind of was when we were telling it to our patrons.
Oh yeah, sorry guys. But you know what? It was really cool is normally we've got comments flying in through
everybody was just listening.
And I noticed that I checked the phone because we have to operate in very janky ways.
Yeah.
So we have to read comments off the phone as we're doing a live anyway. I just noticed that the comments stopped and I was a little bit like, is this thing still on?
Who was it that commented? Someone was like, we promised that we're interested in listening, but we're just like fucking listening.
Yeah, she was like, I think that nobody's commenting because we're listening. And then everybody was chiming in like, that's what's going on. And they were like, this is fascinating. So hopefully you guys found this as interesting as we found it.
Oh yeah.
Because it's changed things.
Yeah, and it's the first of many of these experiences.
Yes.
Plus we're not going to go into it yet. We're not going to spill the beans. But
you patrons out there, you know the deal.
Y'all were a part of something being created that I think it's going to be fucking special.
It'll be a hot boy.
It's going to be a hot boy time. And I think they were all very excited about it.
Yes.
I think it resonates with a shitload of our listeners.
I think it will be it'll be a compliment. It'll be the companion to this new series.
Yes.
This new series, by the way, I think we may have already said it, but this is kind of a little series that we're going to do where we have experiences.
Yeah.
The next one that we're going to be doing is Reiki. We've never I've had a little bit of Reiki.
Yeah.
But I've never had a full session.
And I've never had it, and I've refused to until I can have a private session. Yeah. And that's what this will be.
I'm very drawn to learn and practice Reiki. Just being like an energy worker and massage therapist and stuff like that. I've always really wanted to know about it. And we already have somebody who is agreeing to sit down with us and have an interview. And we're very excited. However, along with each one of these things, we're going to have a companion episode, we think. Yeah. And it might take some time to put together. But I think it will be not only hilarious.
It's going to be great. But very eye-opening.
I think there's a lot of people out there who will side with this companion episode more than our episode.
Or they'll understand who they're talking to.
It's going to bring people together, I think.
Yes, I think it will. And I'm very, very excited about it. Y'all are going to meet some people.
You're going to meet some people that you've we've talked about.
It's hard to not spill.
I want to so bad. I'm not going to do it until we lay out a plan.
Yes.
Because this is fresh, but it was one of those things that when it was spoken, even our patrons were like, y'all can't take this back.
Yeah.
Like, y'all have to do this.
I think we laughed more. And if you are a patron, there is a Facebook group for certain patrons, certain levels and up. There is a private Facebook group.
Yeah, private Patreon group.
We host monthly live streams.
They're such a good time.
We have a real good time. They're very loose. They're chatty. We talk. And this time we created a masterpiece.
We did. It was one of those things that when it was spoken out and we were like working through it, it clicked.
It was, I think we laughed the most we've ever laughed. So we're being very vague, and I hope that's building mystery, because you guys are going to dig it. So, with that being said, there's our chakra experience.
Let us know what y'all think.
Yeah, we'll have the photos posted. Please pop off on them. Let us know. God damn. So, we can't spill the beans yet.
No. But we can roll the beans.
We can, absolutely. In a fucking blunt.
In a blunt wrapper. Just like that picture. That was so funny.
Was that Aries? I feel like that was Aries.
Was in all the beans in the blunt. And they were perfectly in a line. Just little greasy beans.
One bean at a time. If you guys aren't over on our Facebook, you please come and join the coven.
Somebody shared that, and it was all of the zodiac signs in baked bean form.
Yeah. And one of them, I forget what it is a shotgun
of beans. That was Scorpio, I think. Scorpio was the bean-loaded shotgun.
It would be Scorpio. You know what? I have to find Leo.
I don't remember what mine was either. I don't know how I'm even gonna find that.
Oh, it's been posted so much.
It's true. It's classic.
It is classic. It's an instant classic. Here we go. All right, so yeah, Pisces is the blunt wrapper.
Great.
Taurus is a Nivea Stress Protect soap bottle full of baked beans.
I hate it.
Gemini is a cut open orange filled with baked beans.
It's disgusting. It's so fucking gross.
Cancer is a salt and pepper grinder filled with beans instead of salt and pepper. Aries is the rifle with just beans spilling at it. Leo is a man's belly button.
Oh, that's the one. I loved that one.
Beans.
Full of beans.
It's a body shot of beans, and there's like an energy drink rolled off to the side. And for some reason, that's the most Leo thing I've ever seen.
Yeah, you just get it.
Libra makes me uncomfortable.
Which one was that?
It's a crock.
It's that
tryptophobia.
I hated it. It really bothered me.
It's a crock, but there's beans,
and beans are wriggling out of the crock holes.
Coming out of the crock holes.
I don't like it at all.
Virgo is a Scrabble board that says beans.
Beautiful.
And there's like a latte
of beans.
And it even has like foam
a foamy
at the
head
top.
on it.
Scorpio is some very comfy slippers with beans.
But it's also, you're a fucking madman. Because they look so comfortable and wonderful, but you would squelch. It's like, that's the most Scorpio thing I've ever seen. You gotta be fucking crazy
I could see a Scorpio just like with a smile on their face.
Oh, look at that. It's Tech 9 saying Scorpios are born to be freaks.
Scorpios born to be freaks. Sagittarius is a full-grown bald man, like in a tub
with beans all over the walls. First of all,
it's filthy, and he's just kind of giving you a knowing,
like, yeah, that's right. I'm in a bean tub.
Scorpio's an empty wallet full of beans.
Who is?
Sorry, Capricorn. I said Corporio.
An empty wallet full of
Capricorn. And Aquarius, you, dude, are the diffuser.
That was the one that resonated with me the most, so I'm glad. It is a oil diffuser with the sticks full of beans, and that's Aquarius.
Join us on the Waba podcast where we break down memes.
That's what we talk about over there. It's a great time.
Yes, and if you wanted to join that party, we are at Witch Amateur Hour.
Yeah, or you can just search the Witch Amateur Hour.
But no bitch on Facebook.
No bitch on Facebook. That's true.
Instagem allows us one bitch.
One bitch.
And where can you shake?
Instagram allows a lot of things.
Instagram. There's no rules on Instagram.
There's no rules on the gram. Jim is a wild man.
Jim is. You don't really want to shake his hand.
You don't. You wear a glove.
It's moist, but it's not sweat. You know, you don't really know what it is.
Yeah. It's the residue of bad choices.
Shit. Jim is getting worse and worse.
Jim, We might need to take care of Jim. We might need to send him off somewhere and get him cleaned up.
Put him down. Your option's better.
Put him down. Oh no.
I just imagine that he's just this rake character.
Yeah.
But he's still like giving a Jim face to the camera.
Yeah.
Like.
Yeah, he is basically the rake from Hazards of Love, just being a crazy evil person, but with Jim's flippy hair and Jim face.
But also, you know who I picture him as? Salad fingers.
Ew. Jim took a turn today. But it's fitting for Instagram.
Jim can't be saved. But what's our Instagram?
The only one that's right. At Witch Bitch Amateur Hour.
That's correct. We have one tweeter. And that is at
Betcha!
And we have an email address.
You can write to it if you want. Y'all, we're behind. Okay, let's just make a thing. We've received so many emails, and I assure you, we have read every single one of them.
That is the thing, is if that brings any kind of, I don't know if that will bring solace or anger, but we have read every single one that comes in. But we just don't necessarily have the time to respond in the way that we wish to respond.
So we are way behind. So if we haven't responded to you, it's not because we hate you.
No, not at all.
It's because we are not quite drowning, but we're quite busy. And we're adjusting right now to the growth that we've experienced.
And we have, you guys, the listener coven has really expanded
a lot and very quickly.
Yeah.
So Charlie, and I think that explains some of that sacral fatigue.
Yeah.
I think you and I are having to adjust to the very now, because so far a lot of this has been a slow burn.
Yeah.
Until like the past 3 or so months.
Yeah.
And shit's really started to take off, and it's just
we've hit the stride that we always wanted to hit.
Yeah.
But we were not mentally
I don't think
prepared.
we were fully there yet, and now we're trying to learn as we go. Like, okay,
yes,
here's how we have to be.
So if you guys will continue to hang with us through our mistakes and through our amateur nature, we'd love that.
We'd be happy with that.
We'd be okay with it. No, be fine. Sure, whatever. Yeah, do what you want.
We have a P.O. box, post office box, at the post office.
Where you can send your post.
You can send your post haste.
And it is the cutest little P.O. box in Texas. I don't know. I've never seen it. Is it cute? Can you slap a sticker on it, make it cute, put some googly's eyes on it?
I should.
And then we can take
put
a picture.
Put a big blonde wig on it and just turn it into Dolly.
The sweetest little house in Texas.
The sweetest.
That is P.O. Box 865 at Nope.
We can't not fuck this up, so I'm glad that you did that, because otherwise we would not be on brand.
Can you imagine if we just rolled through this like a machine?
It'd be impossible.
And
every podcast does it. I don't know how they do that.
I think a lot of them are pre-recorded.
Well, and a lot of them have a designated role.
Yeah.
Like to where it's like one person does the socials every time, but I refuse to give in.
Well, I mean, also somebody single-handedly encouraged this, because after we had already kind of gotten into this habit of very sloppily giving you our socials,
we almost thought like maybe we should just start recording that and
maybe we should stop, is it annoying, whatever. Somebody wrote in or left a comment on Facebook, I forget how, but they said they were listening to it and they were behind by a little bit. They were catching up, and they said, I just listened to the episode where y'all and she referenced it in a very specific manner, said you kind of jokingly gave us your socials, and they said, I think you should keep up with that, which we had been, and so many people commented on that, like, you're in for a treat.
It gets worse, man.
It just keeps going. So P.O. Box 865, Canton, Texas 75103.
Yeah, you got it.
If I would have just,
you didn't sound confident.
If I would have gone through with confidence, I would have been a professional. Off brand.
I'm sorry, I'm looking at you and I can't stop thinking about the belly button full of beans.
What would happen if you did diffuse?
Nothing.
A thing of beans.
The sugar juice or sugar slime.
The sugar slime
would soak in through the sticks, and they would just turn a color, and nothing else. Ants would fill it up.
Ants
would get full of ants,
and it might have like a sickly sweet smell if you were standing right next to it.
Yeah. Not a good thing.
What does that even mean? Does that mean like...
I don't know, but the weirdest thing? Like all of those pictures, I looked at them and I was like...
yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, that makes sense.
If you really think about it, I want to know, why is it a body shot? Why is it a bean body shot? Why can't I see past my own Leoness to see what that means?
I see that and I'm like, oh, absolutely.
Well, see, it's Leo season, so I feel like I don't really have to self-examine.
No, you don't.
Right now.
No.
I like how Leo season is the actual worst. Because all the Leos get to act super full of themselves.
Basically what it is, it's like meeting that person where their birthday has to be all month. That's what it feels like.
Which, by the way, is every Leo. And if every Leo's birthday is happening soon, y'all are in for it.
It's like, that's what it feels like is all. And y'all, we've been doing this for a year now, over a year. And, you know, the year has changed several times. And it is only Leo season that everybody's like, it's Leo season.
Yeah.
And they post about it every fucking day. Yeah. And any other season is fine.
You know why? Because it's Leo.
It's Leo season. It's the funniest thing, and it is such a contrast because, like, and
there's another one. There's another one that I feel it's maybe it's Cancer. It might be Cancers. I don't know a thing about Cancers because it's Leo season, and I don't have to.
Yeah.
Sorry, my Leo's in full force. But there is another one that I feel like does kind of come out kind of proud.
I remember seeing a lot of Gemini stuff.
Oh yeah,
there was a lot of Gemini stuff. I don't feel like Aquarius people, I feel like very often you're like, oh, you're an Aquarius, but you don't hear from us very much, almost.
Because I feel like a lot of Aquariuses are like, what's that mean?
Yeah.
It's a very analytical.
There's a lot of like intellectual, analytical, and so it's like, I feel like a lot of Aquariuses, even though they are so Aquarius, they don't actually believe in astrology because they're too pragmatic and not intellectual, but, you know, like material. You know, and so you just don't hear from them very much.
And even Leos that do not believe in astrology, it will break forth from within your body.
It happens.
And you wake up the first day of Leo season and your hair looks great and you're like, it's time. I'm sorry, I am feeling it because I never get cocky. Well,
see, I often think that I should have been born a Leo, but I think it's thanking everybody's stars and the universe that I wasn't. Because if I would have been the way that I am, but also born in the astrological, like, I would have been insufferable. I don't think I would be Monica. I would have actually been Monica. And nobody wants that.
A Monica Leo.
I would.
Yeah. But you would get so much stuff.
I would get so much done, but alone. Because nobody would want to be near me.
You would just have a circle of other Leos that all secretly hated each other.
Yeah.
Anyway, where am I? I'm really glad that my moon is in Taurus because that really keeps me in check. Really keeps me grounded.
I have something in Leo. I don't remember. I need to redo my birth chart because I did it. Wendy helped me with it like day one of starting this whole metaphysical journey.
Yeah.
And it was either, I think my moon is in Cancer.
Yeah, that's right.
So my sun sign is Leo. And
your star sign is Aquarius.
It was something.
Right? I don't know.
I don't remember. It was something that when Wendy was writing me, she was like, I'm very interested to know how this played out because this is contradictory as fuck. And it was something like Leo and Aquarius or something were having to battle. Like they were in the same, like they were both working together, but it didn't really make a lot of sense. I got to relook into it.
I mean, that is just us.
We do need to do an episode to where you and I just talk about our charts.
You know what? That could be another one of these experience episodes. We could go have somebody read them and really break it down.
Yeah.
Because those people who do that, like that's what they do, are actual wizards.
Yeah, that would be a fun one. We need to do that. We need to find like a good astrological or like astrology practitioner. Yeah. Do they have a title? Like if you were like
I think it's a natal chart.
Like no, I mean like if you were like you have like root workers and stuff for different things. You know, like
they're natalists.
Like do they have like a title? You know, like I don't know.
Star reader.
We need to find one. And we need to have them explain to us why we do the things we do.
And also somebody who like will be open to like talking about it. Because I think that we could regurgitate information all we want.
Yeah.
But
it's better to hear it from the horse's mouth.
Yeah. And they're going to also be able to draw together conclusions, kind of like with tarot cards. I'm a very novice, I'm a beginner, and I can read a very black and white card. You know, I can look it up and say, this is what this means. And when it's in relation to another card, that's where I stop. Yeah. But someone who knows it so thoroughly goes, well, when this card is with this card, this is what it means. Yeah. And I feel the same thing might happen when your sun is here and your moon is here and yada, yada. This is what it boils down to. Yeah. In a way that we would never be able to do ourselves.
Exactly. Yeah, we should do that. We'll have to hunt.
That's a good one. And if y'all have ideas for experiences. Yeah. So leave us those ideas.
Leave us ideas.
For experiences that you would like to know about. Are there things that you think are complete and total hogwash?
Bunk.
Bullsh.
Borsk.
Besom. All right, guys. It's been great. Thank you so much. Did you see the joke that somebody cracked about... They were like, I know why.
Because I'm a bare naked lady.
She's a bare naked lady.
You are a brilliant person.
Apparently that was coined by the same person who coined blessed beans.
They can't stop.
Who has, by the way, she reached out to us and said that we can use the blessed beans. We have permission to rip her off, and we will have blessed beans shirts very soon. All right, anyway, let's end it here. Thank you guys for allowing us to do this. Special thanks goes out to our Patreon supporters who truly, truly, truly let us do this.
Facilitated this.
And they are going to keep bringing you guys episodes like this because we could not do it without you.
We really couldn't.
We could not. And if you are interested in supporting the podcast, our Patreon is...
www.patreon.com/WBA8 podcast.
All of this information down in the description box, show notes, whatever you want to call it. Have a good one. Blessed be your beans.
Blessed be all of you.
This brownie is so moist.
Oh God, it's moist.
Yeah.